So much for joining us. We've had a wonderful time with T20 Mumbai, some great matches, maybe not high scoring, but close for sure. And I have one of the icons of Mumbai cricket here with me, the venerable Mr. Reggae. Milind, good to have you again in the afternoon, in the heat. You've been doing a lot of hard work, but so are the players.
Yes.
And, you know, the scores are just getting lower and lower. And, of course, lefty spinners are getting more and more on top. Is that going to continue now?
I think that wickets have taken a beating by now. You know, so many overs played, so many days of cricket. Almost this is the 9th day of cricket. I think this is bound to happen. But the adjustments have to be made by the players simply because the wickets haven't become dusty, Charu. They've become only slow and they turn a bit. But they haven't been bad. Unfortunately, it's not the scoring that we expected, but let's see how it goes now.
Yeah, I think we're all getting a little greedy with T20, saying 180, 200, but it's not going to happen, we think. Let's just quickly check on the points table and find out who's doing what. Of course, the Sobo Supersonics are going to be seen today. We'll get to that later. Group A, Triumph Knights and the Mumbai Panthers, as well as the Tigers, are all on 4 points. So this is a really interesting group. Remember, only 2 teams will go through, and each team has only 1 match left. So their last matches in this group are all going to be virtual qualifiers for the semi-final. The other group, of course, a little better with Arcs and Dheri, quite clear on 8 points. 4 wins will get you there to the semi-final. Supersonics, of course, if they win today, will assure themselves of a place in the semis. If they don't, and if Shivaji Park Lions play the spoilers, then they might have to struggle with maybe the Bandra Blasters in their final match to see who makes it as the second team from this group. All right, let's just check on the Supersonics. They had 3 clear wins before they lost a narrow match yesterday. So for them, things are going pretty well, and Jay Bista's leading fabulously.
Absolutely. Jay Bista has done a great job. All his moves for field placing, change in the bowling, I mean, he's done a great job. He's such an outstanding captain, and he's fully aware of what's going on. That's the important thing about T20 cricket, to be ready to make the next move.
Yeah, he's situationally very aware. Of course, it helps to have somebody like Kanapurkar, who got a big 90 in their opening match. And unfortunately, the match they lost, he got only 1 run. So they are somewhat heavily dependent on him, even though Bista got some runs yesterday. But that was such a sweet knock.
Yes, Kanapurkar is in great nick. I think he's the find of the season, really, because he plays a lot of club cricket in Mumbai. But particularly in this tournament, he's cashed on at all the opportunities that he's got, and his batting has been brilliant.
Well, they certainly require him to fire. What about yesterday, though? Supersonics went through their first defeat. I wonder what's done to the team, because 3 wins on the trot and your morale is really high. Then the momentum drops a bit because of the loss. And, of course, it was a narrow one. But Jay Bista scored pretty heavily. So it's gone pretty well for them. So what about the other team they're playing today, the Lions? Now, you know, they had only 1 big scorer. By the way, the Shivaji Park Lions have no batsman who's gotten past 100 individually, as in not in 1 knock, but even totally. Shivam Dubey, though, big star.
Yeah, they have disappointed. Their icon players have disappointed. Except for that 1 innings by Shivam Dubey, I think you need to do better.
Yeah, well, even he, unfortunately, despite that big knock, couldn't quite get them to the winning post. But he has a lot of potential, we know. And I think the nation's eyes are on the young man.
Absolutely. In fact, he got his IPL contract after the tournament, after the brilliant innings that he played last year. To add to this, I think Lion has disappointed me a bit, because he's not in the game at all. And that's the reason for the Lions not being real Lions.
Well, yeah, what a pity, though, because Siddhesh Lat otherwise is such a wonderful bat to watch in the more classic form. We've been talking about pitches getting lower and slower and less runs, but let's take a look at what pitch 1 might offer today. I was there a little earlier. Day 9, we're on pitch number 1, which is the West pitch. Now, if you take a look at the numbers first, less runs through the tournament and more wickets. And through time, more wickets for the spinners and less for the faster bowlers. We go down now, we'll take a look at why, because this is absolutely bare. Not a hint of any kind of live grass. A whole lot of dead grass rolled in expertly. So the groundsmen have once again done a wonderful job to ensure there's no crumbling. But because they have to water it quite a bit to make sure that there's a nice steady surface, there is a little bit of freshness. And that, of course, at times makes the captains who want to win the toss maybe bowl first and use the freshness. We've seen also captains choosing to bat first, but par score is about 150 now. We've come down from 165 to 160 to 150, which sometimes can get chased, but even 143 was not chased some time back. So this is getting to be a really tough one for the batsman. In a Dream 11 situation, what would I do? I'd stuff my sides with left-arm spinners. I'd play with 11 left-arm spinners if I could, because it will take a fair amount of spin. Not too much for the faster bowlers at all. About winning the toss, this is getting to be a tough one, like I said, but maybe I might just want to put runs on the board. Yeah, it's one of those things where you might want to lose the toss because you just don't know what to do anymore. And run making is just getting so difficult.
It
and
is.
left-arm spinners, such a premium on them.
Absolutely. At a point in time, I think you should play all 5 bowlers as left-arm spinners because they're the ones who succeeded.
Yeah, maybe left-arm spinning all-rounders is the key here. Well, we'll see what happens today. But Gautam Bhimani was out there with the two captains just a little earlier.
Two ends of the spectrum for these teams here. One playing for pride, the other continuing what's been a very efficient ride for them, the Sobo Supersonics and the Shivaji Park Lions. Also present at the toss, Aarti Vaidya, the match referee, and flipping the coin, somebody who's been a huge part of Mumbai cricket and tossed in a different manner yesterday, Aditya Tare. Aditya, you've got the coin. Jay Bista to call. Heads is the call?
It's heads.
Heads it is. Jay Bista, you've won the toss. What's it going to be?
Yeah, we are going to bat first. Looks a dry wicket, and we are going to back our strength and bat first and put them in under the pressure.
Now, you've had a good run to start with. You won the first 3 games and had one hiccup. Any lessons to take from that game?
Yeah, it was good to get that thing later into the tournament because now we are ready for anything and we'd like to come strong, do our basics right, and do what we were doing already and come harder this game.
Couple of quick ones. You've had a look at the surface. It's the alternate pitch we are playing on. What's the kind of total you think will be imposing for the opposition who haven't won that much this tournament?
Around 150, 160 should be a good total on this track. And I'm sure our bowler are capable of restricting them under this total. We'll try our best.
And I'll say it one more time. You've looked excellent at the top. This time you need to convert.
Yeah, again, I'll say I'll try my best.
All the best.
Thank you.
We have a new captain for the Shivaji Park Lions with no Siddesh Lad and Shivam Dubey, Ronak Sharma. Ronak, firstly, obviously, the thinking was that with the team out of the tournament, you need to now play for a lot of pride.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we were a good team, but things just didn't go our way. But still, we'd like to spoil somebody else's party.
Looking at this, you're going to be fielding first. What's the thoughts on that?
Actually, we were looking to field first only, because I don't think this wicket will change much. I think it'll play to our benefit and try and restrict them to around 140.
Now, obviously, the news is with the 2 boys having gone for India A duty, those are definitely 2 changes. What are your other changes?
So we are having 4 changes. Definitely Siddesh and Shivam miss out. Hardik misses out. And we have Atish Gawan, Manan Khakkar, Omkar Jadhav, and I forgot one more change.
No worries, you almost got that right. We have our team sheets. All the best for that. He was looking at around 160 plus. I think that's going to be fair. Happy to chase it down. Will you play relaxed cricket?
Yeah, we really have nothing to lose right now, so we just go and enjoy ourselves. But we definitely want to beat them.
All the best.
Thank you so much.
That's the news from the center here. It's the men in yellow, the home team in a sense, the Sobo Supersonics, who have won the toss in this afternoon game. They'll take first use with the bat.
Well, wholesale changes for the Shivaji Park Lions, including their skipper. So some of the big names missing from the Lions, but of course they can play spoilers today. Sobo Supersonics will want to continue their winning ways. Bista, Harsh Tank, fabulous. And of course, Parag Khanapurkar, we've built him up nicely. Also in the bowling department, Badri Alam doing very well. Deepak Shetty, their tall bowler. Dafedar has played a couple of really nice matches. Raja and Vaibhav Mali as well. But with the big changes for the Lions there, do you think they could maybe get a win today, or have they given up virtually?
I think they should play for pride because it's an opportunity for the younger people, the newer people, to play in a big stadium like this. And that's how they should look at it.
Yeah, one of the Sobo Supersonics are aware that the Lions could be party poopers today, party spoilers. But of course, Jay Bista's led his side really well. And a win here could take them through to the Final Four. A big thank you to Milind Rege once again for joining us. I think we can step out of the heat for now, take a short break. And right after that, we're into the action.
Getting to the business end of T20 Mumbai 2019 from the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. It's a cloudless sky, it's a spotless sky, and that means it's an absolute scorcher here with the Sobo Supersonics, 3 out of 4 wins, and the Shivaji Park Lions, well, playing for plenty of pride. The familiar, sleek Skoda Kodiaq arrives bang on time, because certain gentlemen who need to be here well before even the players or even all of us, the adjudicators of the game, are traveling in comfort, and they need all the comfort they can get. Milind Bhatt and Brinda Rathi are the 2 standing umpires for the opening game. They were there just having a look at the surface, and there they are walking out. One of the brighter young umpires on the circuit, Brinda Rathi. And this is the men in orange, the Shivaji Park Lions, finalists from 2018. How brilliantly they played, but that was pretty much on the back of the likes of Alpesh Ramjani and Shivam Dubey. The difference today is that Shivam Dubey has not quite fired consistently enough, and on this particular occasion he isn't even in the lineup. Away for India A duty. The nation calls. But very few changes for these men. They've got an eye on the semi-final at the Sobo Supersonics. We're in the heart of South Bombay, so they'll usually have a little bit of support. Jay Bista, the captain, needs runs. There's no better time than the fag end of the league stage to start getting your form in place. The one thing you'll have to say is every single time he's got a start. He's played a couple of very impressive boundaries early on, and then suddenly it comes to the 15s, the 20s, even 30. And it's goodbye Jay Bista. He can lay a foundation as he promised at the toss. Things could be very different. Keeping in company will be Harsh Tank, who's also been very impressive at the very top. Well, it takes 2 batsmen to open an innings. It takes 2 commentators to open a stint here. Prasanna joining me here in the studio. Good afternoon. Looks like a good contest in progress, even though one team has not much to play for.
Oh yes, good afternoon Gautam. It is going to be a good contest. Yes, one team, that is the Shivaji Park Lions, haven't had the best of outings in the T20 Mumbai. 3 matches and 3 straight defeats. Whereas the boys in yellow, that's the Sobo Supersonics, 4 matches, 3 wins for them. The previous match that they played yesterday, they faced their first defeat in the T20 Mumbai League, where the Namo Bandra Blasters beat them by 4 wickets. Eknath Kerkar was the star, but Jay Bista winning the toss today and electing to bat first.
Yeah, with all those changes, we hope all of you have made changes in your respective Dream 11 lineups, because we're probably getting down to the last 15 seconds where you can make any more changes. There's no Shivam Dubey. There's no Sidhesh Lad captaining the men in orange. Ronak Sharma, the skipper for the day. And we're all set, up and running for match number 17, T20 Mumbai 2019.
Nicely bowled, a good start there. Once again, in the power play overs, we see a left-arm spinner. This time the very first over being bowled by Varun Zoizode for the Shivaji Park Lions.
That's the kind of running between the wickets they'll need to demonstrate, because sometimes you see they are very keen on looking for boundaries, these 2. But the change that they need to make, and Jay Bista was mentioning this, is if you find a boundary drought even for 1 or 2 deliveries, nothing better than going back to the old adage of rotating the strike. Get the circulation in the legs going, and also make sure the bowler doesn't have a single batsman to settle down to.
Oh yes, absolutely. Those singles also very important, along with the big hits. There's a deep square leg and long on. The 2 fielders on the boundary line in the power play overs, maximum 2 allowed. There's also a slip in place, waiting for that outside edge. Drives and drives well over the bowler's head. Long on in contention. Good fielding. Good fielding, saving a couple of runs there.
Omkar Jadhav, the fielder, excellent effort under the hot afternoon sun. He had to run about good 40 yards to his left. Kept his eyes on the ball, full tilt.
Yes, good shot that over the bowler's head. But good fielding from Omkar Jadhav, diving to his left and making that save. Decent start, 3 for no loss.
You'll still have to give full credit to Zoizole for his opening over. He's done it before as well. He knows a thing or two about bowling in the power play.
Goes for the big one, hasn't quite connected that. But by the time Omkar Jadhav once again in the thick of action collects, retrieves it, 2 runs taken by Harshtank.
I'm a little mystified at that particular shot, because if you've gone full-blooded and you know you want to clear the outfield and go for 6, it's fine. But he kind of didn't go through with the shot, and the only place there are fielders in the outfield are at long on and deep mid-wicket. It wasn't quite a percentage shot from his part. He went inside out over extra cover. You know that if you don't make connection, it'll still plug in the outfield for a couple of runs.
He has absolutely no fielder there on the boundary line, on the offside. As you rightly said, Gautam, the only 2 are at mid-wicket and long on. So that was a shot on. Nicely bowled, a dot ball to finish the first over. 5 for no loss.
Bowling right arm over.
ज्यादा बाहर नहीं अंदर ही उसको भी थोड़ा ऐसा ही रखना सचिन उसको भी थोड़ा ऐसा ही रखना चलो बॉयज एक साथ होके थोड़ा माहौल बना के
Just 5 runs in the opening over, and we heard the voice of Brindarati for the first time. She'll be officiating at the far end, the pavilion end of the ground. Far end for our commentary boxes. Right arm over, she says. It's going to be Gaurav Bengre coming in.
Nicely driven. There's a fielder there at deep backward point. So runs in singles so far. Mentioned about Vrinda Rathi, Gautam. Vrinda started as an umpire. I started as a scorer at the Mumbai Cricket Association, then went on to become a scorer at the BCCI, and now an umpire. There she started at MCA and now an umpire at the BCCI level. She was my classmate during the umpiring classes that we did at MCA. You can see that side screen. Behind that, there's a hall. And Mr. Vilas Bandudekar used to be our umpiring coach. And what a student she was. Always astute, always wanted to know as much as she can. And that's where today she has reached the top level. A loud appeal. Oh, it could have been a run-out chance as well.
Already into the thick of the action, Vrindarati. Overthrows, everything happening in this one delivery. They're screaming across for a couple of runs. Oh dear. First it was the appeal. Then came the certain run-out. Had it hit, he was gone. And they realized that they could pick up a couple of bonus runs. She was absolutely unmoved. Now she signals leg byes. The signal that she's going to be very busy. Oh, it's an excellent decision. The angle taking it well down leg side. Not the smartest piece of backing up there. You would have been dead and buried.
This definitely would have been dead and buried. A direct hit, but not backed up. So 2 leg byes in the form of overthrows. So Vrinda in action right in the second over.
I think the good thing about having a scorer turn umpire is she can count to 6 balls for sure. She's not going to get that wrong.
Oh, yes, absolutely. There's another one in Mumbai cricket, Gautam, Varsha Nagre. She's the match referee now. She also started as a scorer at MCA and then BCCI. Now she's the match referee, herself a former cricketer as well. So it's nice to have this combination. It's in the air and it will clear the field there at square leg. A 6 to the bat of Harshtank.
That's how he likes to go. 3, 4, 5 deliveries maximum before he gives it everything. And the fielder was interested for quite a while. It's not the shortest boundary out there, but after a certain point, he had the sun in his eyes and he just saw it sailing over his head. Just about over. First 6 of the innings, first boundary of the innings is a maximum. Ashtank, they're up and running, 14 without loss.
9 runs in this over so far. There was a chance of a run out. This time it's in the air. Fielder this time. Good catch. Manan Kakkar, the fielder, had to run in with the sun in his eyes. Good catch that.
Outstanding catch, absolutely brilliant. He did the basics, and that's what you need to do. Sometimes catches look good because you go for all those multiple tumbles and you get points for gymnastics rather than the catch. But look at that, did the basics right, sun in his eyes, kept himself steady, eyes on the ball to the last moment, and then held on, didn't let the elbows hitting the ground, let the ball bounce up. And Ashtank's brief cameo comes to an end, 10 of 8, it's 14 for 1.
Nicely driven, but there's a fielder there at mid-off. A single there to Jai Bista. He'll keep strike, 15 for 1.
Ronak Sharma, the captain for the day for the Shivaji Park Lions, is keeping the batsmen honest, rotating his bowlers. Got Atish Gavand coming in from commentary box end. Smartly played there by Jai Bista. Not going to pick up a boundary, but he'll get a comfortable couple of runs. Very key game for him to get runs under his belt before a possible knockout scenario.
Oh, it's important for him to score. That's how the first wicket went. The moment Harsh hit that, he knew he hasn't timed that ball well. Wasn't an easy catch. Wonderfully taken there by Manan Kakkar. Jai Bista, the previous ball that he played towards the mid-on area. Even the last ball of the previous over drived it really nicely. A field change.
They've plugged his favourite area, short mid-wicket. Exactly the fielder who comes into action. Clever. Ronak knows Jai Bista. They didn't have a fielder there, hence he picked up a couple of free 2 runs there. Now he says, okay, if you want to play your favourite shot, you've got to either try and go over the head of that fielder at mid-wicket, who's about 20 yards away from the bat.
Yes, that's a good feeling change. He plucked the slip out and then he's put him there at short mid-wicket. There's a square leg and deep backward point to two fielders on the boundary line.
And this time he compensates by heading it straight. It'll be four. Gorgeous shot from Jai Bista. That field change, I think, prompting him to hit a lot straighter, and he gets the result.
Oh, what a shot that is from Jai Bista. Look at the face of the bat. The toughest shot in the book to hit. But he timed it to perfection and he'll feel a lot better. Look at that punch there. Good batting this from Jai Bista. Always a confidence booster when you can pull off that shot.
The thing he needs to tell himself is sometimes when you're going through a bad patch, you've scored a duck and 2 and 3, but that's not been the kind of patch he's had. He's been getting 10s and 20s every time, scoring boundaries almost every single game, and then getting out when he's set. So it's a different kind of mindset as he's joined by the in-form Parag Khanapurkar, who missed out with a bat yesterday, picked up a couple of wickets.
Yes, Parag Khanapurkar in the T20 Mumbai League, the first match that he played, 96 that he scored in 49 balls, 15 against the Knights, 45 against the Tigers, and 9 against the Blasters. The highest score in this edition of the T20 Mumbai League has come from the left-handed Parag Khanapurkar. What a knock that was, 96 and 49 balls. There's a slip in place for him to face his first ball. Pulls away and in grand style. What a way to open your account.
One way to react to that was ouch. That was hit really hard. We've seen some timing. We saw some finesse from Jai Bista a couple of deliveries ago. But that was severe. Lovely sound off the bat. There's only one place the ball was going. Even if it was not the power play, that would have been a typical boundary shot.
And so early he picked up the length. The moment he saw that short ball, he was ready in position to pull that away. Once again, nicely played, just opening the face with the bat. A single there to Parag, he'll keep strike. 27 for 1.
Mid-wicket रखा है, square leg.
Center, slightly. Middle.
Thank you. Oi! Varun.
Bowling left arm around.
.27 for 1, and yet again we have a bowling change. So we've got a new captain. Vijay Gohil is now coming on from the pavilion end. So that's the 4th over and a 4th different bowler coming into the attack. So Ronak Sharma, very different kind of captain, already showing how proactive he can be.
Oh yes, he's already been proactive. Bowling change every over. Nicely bowled. Good start once again. A left arm spinner. Varun Zoizode was the one who bowled the first over. And this time it is Gohil bowling from the far end.
Bold, nicely, buddy. Super, Vijay Gohil.
So the medium pacers have bowled 2 overs. And it's the left arm spinner bowling the second.
Even the aggressive Khanapurkar realizes that left arm spin has been the way to go in this tournament, and he's ready to pay respect when respect is demanded.
Went for the shot because he knew the first 3 balls were dot balls, looking for the big one because he saw that with the spin, if he could sweep that, not in a position to hit that.
So perhaps a little bit more bounce than he would have anticipated. Didn't also read the length perfectly now. Is he going to get a little frustrated with 4 dot balls inside the power play? Supersonics are the kind of team who like to go hard. They want to be 40 plus in the power play if possible.
Play, Ronnie. Ball, buddy.
Still no aggression from Khanapurkar. Is Jay Bista going to try and do something against the left-arm spinner with the ball turning away from the right-hander?
Slightly.
So left-hand, right-hand combination, never easy for the bowlers as well. All bowlers have bowled 1 over each. Varun Zoizode, Gaurav Bengre, Atish Gawan and Vijay Gohil. There's no slip this time. Oh, nicely bowled. Inside edge towards short fine leg ball. So slow through the air. 4 overs bowled, 28 for 1.
That's a disappointment from Ronak Sharma. We thought we'd have 5 overs and 5 different bowlers. Gaurav Bengre has the honour of being the first Shivaji Lions bowler to bowl a 2nd over inside the power play.
It's all the bowlers for this had bowled 1 over each. So, as you said, Gautam, we thought that there'll be another one. Bengre bowling his 2nd over. The only one to pick up a wicket for the Shivaji Park Lions. What a ball that was. Look at that seam. So wonderfully bowled, so slow through the air, and that's what deceived the batsman. Call for an early single there. Good call. That made that single possible. So runs coming in singles. It's going to be Jay Bista batting on 10, Parag batting on 7.
Still not run away with it. They want to assess the surface. Takes a few overs. No matter what you do at a pitch report or have a look at it, it's actually once it starts playing that you can truly assess where you are and where you'd like to be at the end of 20 overs. Oh, that's cleverly played. He was down on his knees when he finished, but that's clever from Jay Bista. He knew where he wanted to play it, and he went through with the shot.
Oh yes, he went through with the shot, and what 2 contrasting shots that we've seen. One, a classical on drive, and this one in that gap that he knew that the fielder there was inside the 30-yard circle at fine leg. He took that risk and he has pulled it off well.
There are no extra points or points deducted for looking ugly when you finish the shot. That was extremely ugly. Finished up on the ground, but the number of runs you get, exactly the same. And when you look pretty, it looks wonderful. That's the contrast. The 2 sides of Jay Bista. One was cheeky, dinky, and finished up looking all sprawled on the ground. And that is absolutely copybook, picture perfect, straight drive.
He's absolutely maintaining that balance with the cheeky, the traditional. Oh, what a shot that is. That is a package. Wonderfully driven. Just missing those stumps, and that's how it has to be. As straight as it can miss the stump so that you can get the maximum runs. A boundary there for Jay Bista. His 3rd boundary.
This time a quick single, and the fielder doesn't pick it up cleanly. Good early call. It was Jay Bista's call, and he went with the stroke. How many of you have Jay Besta in your team? Well, 72.83%. Khanapurkar, obviously the man in form, bowls and bats, so he'd be a good pick. Vijay Gohil, Rohan Raje, and the captain, Ronak Sharma, captain for this game for the Shivaji Park Lions. The question is, it's not just about how many you pick or how many of them pick a particular player. It's what they do out there. So far, Jay Bista is delivering. Productive over. 39 for 1 after 5.
Live scores, news,
Team preview,
match predictions.
fan code.
Fan code.
Fan code.
No ads, pure sports.
Middle. Bowling change, left arm around.
चलो boys. चल वरुण, बस गौरव. बस.
So the Supersonics toppled from the top of Group A by the Aksanderi, who are through to the semi-finals. And as it stands, 3 spots up for grabs, 6 teams in contention, the Lions out, the Strikers out. Anish Batavia in the commentary box with... Oh, was there a bit of glove there? Or was there just the pad? Varun Zoizode's second over. He's bowled very well so far. I'm joined by Milid Rege.
Good afternoon, Manish. Good afternoon, viewers. Let's have a look at that again. I think it hit his forearm, probably. In any case, he didn't take it cleanly at all. Parag Khanapurkar, Manish, is batting beautifully. He has to take advantage of the fact that he's being noticed now, simply because he's been a man in form, and it's about time that Jay Bista contributes. I mean, he gets some good 15, 20, 25 runs and then gets out, but it seems today a little bit more determined.
This time, spats it over mid-wicket. In the arc, out of the park.
Got it in his half, no problem at all, hitting it in that mid-wicket area. That's a huge 6. Ideally, he's batting so beautifully, Parag. In all the innings that he's played, he's been very comfortable and right behind the ball every time.
Oh, gorgeous shot there. Now in these last 2 shots, he's shown the range of shots he has, how comfortable he is to rock back on the back foot and time it so well in front of square.
You're absolutely right. Time it so well is the issue here, and he's timed it beautifully. He hasn't hit it hard at all, but just found the gap there.
Adds insult to injury with that single. 11 of the over. They reached the half-century mark in the power play. So then the power play, the Supersonics have played like one expects them to. Jai Vista is still at the crease, and this is what the power play looked like. The only wicket of a harsh tank, but Jai Vista has looked a lot more determined. Now, some of the shots, I'm tempted to use the word delicious, but given the kind of gastronomical delights that Milind Rege prefers, I wonder if I should steer clear of such words. It's been a terrific power play so far. 5 boundaries and 2 sixes. Delicious shots.
Absolutely. The skipper, Ronak Sharma, it's a great chance for him to show his captaincy skills. He's been a good all-rounder for the Parsi Gymkhana. Googly, every leg spinner first ball to a left-hander has to be a googly. They just don't want to beat the batsman outside the off stump, allowing him to go for that off drive.
The Shivaji Park Lions playing for pride. That man on your screen, the stand-in captain Siddesh Lad, is on the way to Sri Lanka for national duties with the A team. The show is the Shivam Dubey. Oh, this one once again going away. Now, one way to look at it is, look, we're already out of contention. It's not been a great tournament. What can we do as a team? And then it can also be looked at as an opportunity for the likes of Atish Gawand, Gaurav Bhengre. It's an opportunity.
You're right, absolutely.
Omkar Jadhav came in as well today.
And Manish, no pressure at all because they've already not in the reckoning. So they can play freely today, absolutely.
As freely as you were attacking those chocolate cookies a little while ago.
Don't say it too loudly. I've told my wife which session I'm coming in.
They were sugar-free, ma'am. Don't you worry, we're taking good care of him. Because I wasn't around when he was attacking the pasta salad outside, but... Still midweek here. Waiting the knockout stage. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, semis in the finals. 2 on for sure. I know all of us are awaiting the knockout stage, and as much as Milind Rege awaits those lazy, chatty evenings with his Parsi friends at the CCI. What is it? Lemon tea? Mint tea, sorry.
Mint tea. But Jai Vista seems to be quite interested in staying there for long, getting his runs.
Has he been the most impressive captain for you, Vista?
I would reckon he's led admirably. He's done a great job for. Look at the helmet he's wearing. Do you get a cover or something like that? They're new kinds of helmets.
Notice that with the pads as well. I suspect a lot of these white pads have been covered with white cloth. We'll come back to that. 7 gone, 53 for 1. Gohil to come in for his second over, bowled a very, very miserly first over. Gohil for his second over. Oh, rare play and miss by Khanapurkar.
Look at the new additions to your equipment. There's a cover on the helmet, so you need not change helmets. You just put that cover. Below that yellow is that blue one.
Good old Jugaad. Jugaad is although a Delhi word, but in Mumbai they call it jhol.
New things coming with the equipment. The helmet is the original one, but this is like a little county cover.
Well, they all represent different sides of Mumbai, but deep down, everyone bleeds blue. Blue is the color of Indian cricket. I saw that with pads as well, not just helmets. And I've been told these are white pads with just an outer layer of a different color.
What do you do, Manish? You go to your tailor and get it done, or what is supplied to you in the team?
I never found pads my size. This is my biggest struggle. There it is.
This is something new. I haven't seen this, but terrific. It looks a little clumsy though, but yeah, for the comfort and convenience, instead of painting your pads. Though I would personally prefer the ones that are painted.
Which is what they do in the IPL. Looks dirty when the paint comes off a little bit. I'm sure these pad covers are washable.
These days nobody washes, they only throw it away, get new ones.
Does that happen with players as well? And I'm asking the selector anew. How does a selector look at patience with the play? We'll come back to that. 8 gone, 55 for 1.
वो गैप बड़ा हो रहा है फिर ठीक है
So they've slowed down a little bit after the power play, and on the subject of patience as a selector, since we are talking about a lot of young players who are knocking on the doors of the Mumbai Ranji team, hoping to play for India A, some IPL teams. Wow, he's got a yellow layer, a protection, a bit of protection from the sun, the UV rays. My co-commentator Milind Rege has been a selector for various teams for a very, very long time. Now, as a selector, do you look at just numbers, or is there more to judging a player when you decide to pick him or drop him?
The most important thing that a selector needs to do is to allow a player many opportunities, because, oh, that was a beauty. But coming back to the story, I think he needs to give him at least 4 to 6 chances. Let's have a look at that. Googly, nicely bowled, went quickly off the pitch. He has to be given at least 4 to 6 chances, because it's a mistake. You don't make 2 mistakes. You don't pick him and then drop him again. So you're making 2 mistakes. And to tell you quickly about the great man Tendulkar, when I was a part of that selection committee when he was picked first, it was decided that Mr. Naren Tamane was the chairman that time. He was also chairman of Indian cricket. He was a very wise man. He decided that, look, if we got to select young Sachin at that age of 15, we must allow him at least 6 innings. And from then on, you know, one learned as one went along that you got to give an opportunity to the players at least 6 innings, make him comfortable to fail, mind you, to fail. That was the important thing.
Is it tougher being a selector now with the advent of social media, with our opinions, mostly cynical, critical opinions flying in from all corners? Or is it, how difficult is it to... Oh, was there an under edge? Yes, there was. Oh, big one. The danger man, Parag Khanapurkar goes. And this is a foot in the door for the Lions.
Yeah, man in form. Let's have a look at that wicket. Another googly, back of the hand, you can see it. Went for that big swing and had the outer edge. And a good catch. Definitely good catch. Well bowled, Raunak Sharma. You're doing a great job as a bowler, as a captain too.
Khanapurkar goes for 21, the Supersonics 56 for 2.
एक नहीं होना चाहिए, मेरे को चौका जाएगा चलेगा। एक नहीं चाहिए उधर, मनन एक, वरुण एक चाहिए। नॉर्मल, ऊपर ले।
50 in the power play. And 17 deliveries after that. They've added only 6 and they've lost the wicket of Parag Khanapurkar, the danger man. Very well bowled by the captain Ronak Sharma. Back-to-back googlies. A lucky break, a slip in place now. In comes the experienced Yogesh Takavle. Oh, another googly. Another one that comes in. It's become his stock delivery. 9 gone, 57 for 2. Welcome back. The spinner shall continue. It's been rather quiet for the Supersonics after the power play. Yogesh Takavle, 10th T20 Mumbai match. One expects a lot more from him. And the strike rate is, must say, abysmal. That's the word I can use, 98.47. Not good enough in this format. Batting at 4. You have enough time to settle in and then go big. Comes Gohil with the third over. Given away just the 3 runs so far. Once again, tight line. Let's go down to Karishma Kotak by the boundary line.
Thank you. I have with me Vinod Raghavan, the coach of the Shivaji Park Lions. So it's been a difficult tournament for the team so far, hasn't it?
It's been a difficult tournament so far in the sense that we've not still got onto the points table. We've lost close games, and I think only the last game we played really badly, but the first 2 games were good. We lost in tight finishes. Well, the preparations were in place, everything was in place, but the unit, it didn't click as a unit.
How much time did the team get to practice together before the league began?
We had almost around a couple of weeks where we had our practice sessions and we had our match simulations and stuff. Practice was done with, it was proper. But I think just to get a combination right and get the players to perform, that made the difference here.
Today, you've made a few changes. Shivam and Siddesh aren't playing. What are your expectations then now from the team?
Shivam and Siddesh, we couldn't help it because as it is, we're not qualifying in this tournament anymore. So we thought we could give the rest of the guys a chance, and it's a great opportunity for them to express themselves on the big stage.
Also, do you think this pitch ground favors spinners?
Yeah, being at the fag end of the season, yeah, and the dry surfaces, so it definitely does favor spinners.
What's the score that you'd be happy to be, restricted to?
Somewhere around 140, 145.
You'll be happy with that?
Yeah, I'll be happy with that.
Okay, I'll be rooting for you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Back to you.
140, 145. Realistic or pessimistic?
I would think they can achieve it. They've got lots of wickets in hand, and Bista is still there. So I see no reason, but I'd be very happy, Manish, if Bista bats on till the very end today, because this is an opportunity for him to prepare for the knockout stage.
They've got to reach
45. They're going to score at least 19 the next 10. So we'll see if that happens, because after the power play in the 4 overs, they've scored only 9. At the halfway mark, they're 59 for 2.
Live scores, news,
Team preview,
match predictions.
fan code. Fan code.
Fan code.
No ads, pure sports.
So welcome back. 10 overs bowled exactly at the halfway stage. The Sobo Supersonics winning the toss, electing to bat first, 59 for the loss of 2 wickets. Current run rate of 5.9. 5 bowlers used by the Shivaji Park Lions. New captain today, Raunak Sharma himself got into the attack, picked up 1 wicket. Gaurav Bengre, the other bowler, to pick up 1 wicket. Parag Khanapurkar, the big wicket there that Raunak Sharma picked up. 59 for 2, 10 overs bowled. Good time to welcome with a warm good afternoon to Charu Sharma.
And a very warm good afternoon to you, Prasanna, and everybody else listening. Now, this is just getting so... let me put it differently. I was about to say, it's looking so scripted now, because it's like every match follows the same pattern, and I'm looking forward to some team, some individual breaking that pattern. I'm hoping Jay Bista today will break it by staying right till the end. But tough conditions for batsmen. Again, clever. What happens is, let's just go back, take a look at the 2 wickets that fell today for the Sobo Supersonics. And they'll be very unhappy to have lost Parag Khanapurkar, particularly to Raunak Sharma. Let's go back and soon take a look at how they fell. But, you know, I was saying that the power play, there's careful play. Nobody's really going over the top hard. The spinners are coming on very early. They're tying all the batsmen down. Full toss, and will that go all the way? It must. A rare loose delivery. And so the Supersonics had to capitalize, and they did.
Oh yes, they did. It was just a gentle full toss, and it was Yogesh Takawle who timed it really well. Just a push of sorts and over mid-wicket for a 6. Nicely timed.
Without doubt. Low full toss. He had plenty of time to spot it. That had to go for 6, although there was a deep mid-wicket, mind you. Cannot afford to miss it, that. Goes for it again on the offside. Almost took a handoff at short cover. Oh boy, he really struck that hard.
Oh yes, that was struck really hard. It's a fielder they kept especially for that shot. Rudra Dande, the fielder, driven straight to him, but couldn't quite take that catch. It was struck really hard.
Oh gosh, he'll be looking for some new fingers. Still wringing his hand. The ball can hurt, and the bat and the toughness of the batsman these days, they hit it really hard.
But that would have been a good comeback for Raunak Sharma, being hit for a 6 and then picking up a wicket.
And let's go back and see how it all fell. Now this one, very, very good catch. As we have been saying, diving in the front, never easy. And Kanapulkar getting a little frustrated, going for the sweep, under edging.
Yeah, both good catches. One from Manan Kakkar at square leg, and then by the wicket-keeper, Sachin Yadav on under edge. Anticipated that well. Once again, collects it so cleanly down the leg side. Good wicket-keeping that we're seeing from Sachin Yadav.
Very impressive, without doubt. And first, of course, he has to read the fact, and he's been reading it pretty well, that that was a googly and misdirected. So it was down leg and going further away. Never easy for a keeper. And he collected it cleanly, not that it clattered off his pads or gloves somewhere. Well done, Sachin.
So nice to see once again. Nicely bowled by Raunak Sharma. He's mixing it well. He's having all those variations, and good support today for the men, the boys in yellow. Nice gathering of people. It's filling up.
Well, let's see if we can end it well. Began it badly by giving that 6 away. Rare loose delivery. 10 off the over so far. Last ball. And again, clattered into the ground hard by Takaule. They should take the 2. And it's a very good over for the Supersonics. 12 coming off it. 71 for 2.
That's the Atul Project's run graph. A couple of big overs there in the power play.
Yeah, but right after the power play, the spinners got right on top and they gave nothing away for 4 or 5 overs. Really poor spell for the Supersonics. Yeah, so that pattern I was talking about, I'm looking forward to Jay Bista breaking it by staying there towards the end. Nice big dive. And that's what we want from batsmen, to show the commitment and the importance of their wicket, because too many of them have gone away, run out by just leaning in rather than diving. And so the pattern being that you're careful during power play, then you continue to be careful because the spinners are right on top. And then only towards the end, the last 5 overs, if you have decent batsmen, you try and hit it big. If you succeed, you get to 165. If you don't, and the bowlers continue to be on top, you're about 150. So who's going to break that mold and when?
I hope Jay Bista does that today. He's done all the hard yards, batting on 28 in 22 balls, and he's batting really well. A couple of crisp shots that he hit during the power play overs, but he needs to carry on. Nicely bowled by Varun Joyzode.
Well, he's looked good every innings, Jay Bista, without doubt, and I'm sure he will enjoy some peace of mind after winning the first 3 matches. And you can also gain that by taking this car home. The Škoda looking brilliant and blue here at the Wankhede. 6-year warranty, 4-year insurance. Buy it, relax, take it easy, and of course you have a great drive as well. Lovely car. Prasanna, worth thinking. Go find out some more about it, will you, for yourself?
Oh yes, worth thinking. And in this area of the South Bombay, where the Supersonics are playing, not a bad place to drive.
It'll certainly attract a lot of attention. Joyzode today not that successful, but even then you can't argue with almost 3 overs and 19 runs under the circumstances. Maybe a shade expensive, but he's a quality bowler.
And he bowled the first over really well off the match. Once again, a flight delivery, not quite getting the control on that shot, but he went with that shot. 1 bounce into the fence for a boundary to Yogesh Takaule.
Well, a touch of desperation there. He did dance down, and I'm sure he realized he was not to the pitch of the ball. And he had to do a little bit of wrist work eventually to try and ensure. He missed the fielder. Had long on, I think took a handoff as well. But that could have been very dangerous.
Oh yes, it could have been. Didn't quite have the control, but nicely bowled. Was deceived. But then at the end, he just managed it to get that past the fielder for a boundary.
This time, of course, he seems to have caught it very well. A big 6. to end the over. So Varun hasn't really worked today at all. 12 from the last, 13 from this one. 84 for 2 after 12.
तू ऊपर है ना
So Raunak Sharma once again going for that sweep. But what a way it was to finish the previous over. Second last ball not quite convincing, but the last ball as convincing as it could get from Yogesh Takaule.
Yeah, Varun not experienced enough to change anything with that delivery. We'll have to say that was very comfortable dash down the track. Very nimble, good footwork. And Takaule helped himself to a huge 6. A little dangerous the shot before that, though. Goes big again. And how well does Raunak do here? Gets a hand down to it. So that's, I think, 2 hands down for the Lions. This time it's the skipper. Of course, not his bowling hand, luckily, so he should be all right. These guys are so tough. I mean, you know, each one of them's got their finger taped, and all of them are, I won't say injured, but they're certainly, their fingers are in bad shape.
There's a lot of practice drills, a lot of catching practice, a lot of fielding practice that happens. But you can see some intent here from Yogesh Takaule. Maybe there's a message to him that just go for it. Even in yesterday's match, he batted well. Scored 32. This is the Skoda maximum 6s in the T20 Mumbai this season. Suryakumar Yadav leading that with 9.
Who's going to top it, you think, eventually?
It looks to be, it could be a close contest between Suryakumar Yadav or Sujit Naik.
Well, Shivam Dubey sadly is not going to be there anymore. Kanapurkar, maybe not. Yeah. What about Sujit Naik? I wonder if they're going to, his team's going to make the semis, maybe not. That'll be such a shame because he truly is spectacular when he hits them big.
Yes, Suryakumar Yadav will be in action tonight in the Triumph Knights match where he'll be leading the team. And leading the 6th tally also is Suryakumar Yadav.
So while Takaule is going big, Bista continues to play along the ground and very sensibly. 13 gone now. One more to go. And this is proving to be a very good over for Raunak. He has bowled very well.
Yes, he's bowled really well. An economy rate of 5.22 and also picked up the big wicket of Parag Kanapurkar.
Yeah, with the wrong one. Kanapurkar was getting a little frustrated, didn't quite know what the ball was doing, went for a sweep. That's what you do when you're not confident once in a while. So, will Raunak be able to end this well? His spell, 1 for 20, last ball of his spell. Well, again, he takes his hand off, so didn't quite get to the pitch of the ball. We think Raunak won that battle. 1 for 21 for the skipper today. It's 88 for 2.
So bowling change. Raunak Sharma mixing his bowl as well. Vijay Gohil also getting ready to bowl the last over of his spell, and he's conceded just 5 runs in 3.1 overs.
Ridiculous. That's the kind of pressure the lefty spinners have put on the batsman. Quicker one, put away. But there is a man at deep mid-wicket, races to his left. Well done, and I'm sure Takaule will be kicking himself for not putting that away for at least a 4, if not for a 6. A rare half-tracker by Gohil. But lucky in the end.
Oh, yes, lucky. He should have capitalized onto that because there was a gap, but couldn't quite pierce that gap. 2 runs taken. This time, once again, the ball was too full to go for that shot. But he's taking it on. Looks like Yogesh Takaule going for those shots.
Well, he's beginning to live dangerously. I think he's got away thrice in the last 6-7 balls. And even the last ball of the last over of Ronak. And here too, too full. He went for the big slog sweep, got lucky, got an inside edge. This is much better. Beautiful. Of course, it fetches only 1. Looks so good, but you just get the 1. And Takaule just tonking it all over the place and outscoring Vista in terms of strike rate. 137 now for Takaule. But a nice knock last time around. So that should have done his confidence a lot good the last match.
Oh, yes, carrying that with the confidence. This time comes down the wicket. It's in the air. Oh, not quite able to, just inches in front of him. Living dangerously is Yogesh Takaule.
Well, you can almost... there we go again. Dances down. You can almost guess that he's saying, okay, well, I'm ready to go big, skipper, and you can stick around. That's the game plan.
That's the game plan. Taking it on the full towards long off. A single there to Jai Bishta. He'll keep strike. 14 overs bowled, 94. So bowling change, a new bowler being introduced. It's going to be the leg spinner, Manan Kakkar. 38 runs, 32 balls is the partnership for the 3rd wicket. So leg spinner Raunak Sharma finished his spell. And now it's going to be another leg spinner, Manan Kakkar, to bowl.
Which again is not a bad ploy if you have leggies, because we got right-handers at the crease now and the ball going away from them. And particularly if you've got a good wrong on, then they could be tricky. So where do they go from here? At 10 over, 152, and I think that's about the limit that we've seen these days when you're reaching about 100 in 15 overs. Jay. Those are dangerous ones. When you tap them down, you've got to be on the same page. And we can understand why Takaule is desperate to get to the striking end, because he's the sacrificial lamb at this point of time, hitting them big while Bista's just pushing them around. Yes, they're pushing them around. That could be taken, and it is! Quite brilliant again, running to his left, taking it high above his shoulders, kept his eye on the ball, not easy, with the seats in the background being also white. That was a very good catch, and Jai Bista, for me, disappointed again, because he should have really stayed towards the end. But they have more batsmen coming in. Here's that catch again.
What a catch that was from Atish Gawan there. Never easy. But he timed his jump really well and took that catch. And a good start to Manan Kakkar's spell. He's happy because he's picked up the wicket of the captain of Sobo Supersonics, Jai Bishta, out on 33, 94 for 3. So the third wicket goes down. The opening batsman, the captain Jai Bishta, 31 balls, 33 that he scored. But it was the pressure. First 2 balls, dot balls, going for that release shot, bowled out to deep square leg.
You know, again, I'm disappointed because, yes, during the final 3 or 4 overs, a lot of players get caught in the deep, as in long on, long off, particularly. But I have seen over the last 9 days, as day 9, I'll get back to that. Oh, that was an edge for sure. You could have had 2 in 2. But sometimes a slightly thicker edge makes it difficult for the keeper. Sachin's done very well today.
Nicely bowled once again. Good bowling from Manan.
Yeah, inside edge onto the ground, so no opportunity.
Lucky that it did not go onto the stumps. Because that would have been 2-2. This time a short ball.
All right, back to that thought. But the number of wickets that we've seen caught by deep square off the sweep, exactly this kind of a shot, is, I think, too many for one tournament. And obviously, they're not being able to clear that boundary, even though this is the west pitch, so that boundary is not too far away, relatively. But the sweep, the aerial sweep to deep square has given away too many wickets for my liking. And early, it's not just in the last over or 2.
Sukizar Dafedar gets off the mark. He'll keep strike. 15 overs bowled. 96 for 3.
Live scores, news,
Team preview,
match predictions.
fan code. Fan code.
Fan code.
No ads, pure sports.
हाथ रहा 3 रख रहा है
6 bowlers used by the Shivaji Park Lions, using whatever resources he has. Zoizode coming in for his 4th over to finish his spell from the pavilion end. Be a lot depending on wicketkeeper Yogesh Takavle, having lost the 3 main strikers in this Sobo Supersonics lineup. Oh, that's a beauty.
Gautam, I would have also said the same. That's a beauty. Wow, he just ripped across his blade. Tall bowler, comes from a height. Once again, didn't turn that one. Allowed it to probably come in a little bit with the arm. But looks promising. Very accurate, has a good line. And is not worried about flighting the ball too.
Yeah, sometimes you have a look at a dry spell in the sense that he's gone none for 30 in his final over. But it's not been the worst spell at all. He's been consistent. He's just had the batsman come at him occasionally, especially when Jai Bishta, initially Khanapurkar. He's bowled in tough periods. Coming in the slog overs now, he bowled in the power play earlier.
And basically, I think his line, his basics are very good. Comes slow, runs in straight, and has a very high arm delivery, which makes him generally a good bowler. Oh, that's a beauty. Once again, I think that's a beauty.
Really kept the batsman guessing. They don't always evaluate a bowler by the bowling figures.
You see, he's ripped this. He hit it hard on the ground. He knew that the batsman may go for the big shot. Once again, on the spot.
Excellent over to finish his spell. 4 overs, none for 31. Still not got to 100, the Supersonics, after 16.
आतिश बस थोड़ा आतरा अंदर आ रोनी थोड़ा अंदर आ
98 for 3. Takavle will be key for this final push for the Supersonics. Very interesting looking at Zoizode's spell. He was bowled, get an overthrow there, he was bowled in 4 single over spells. So it couldn't have been easy for him to settle down. He bowled 1, 6, 12 and 16. But 2 of them in the power play, 1 in the slog overs, and never got a chance to really settle down. And yet he's come back with very, very healthy figures.
It's amazing, Gautam. He comes from D.Y. Patil, and the chief talent scout over there is good old Abhi Kuruvilla. And the number of players who he has picked and he has spotted who play for D.Y. Patil. D.Y. Patil is a force to reckon with in Mumbai's time shield cricket and all the other club cricket. But my hat off to Abhi Kuruvilla for spotting all this talent. You know, he's a great judge of the game, and that's his great contribution to Mumbai's cricket. Apart from the fact that he was an outstanding bowler. But well done, Abhi.
You don't have to be a spinner to pick a spinner. Not managing to judge the pace. One of the newcomers in this particular team, Manan Khakkar. Already picked himself a wicket. His very first over.
He's accurate. Doesn't give it too much of a flag, but a rip. And that one should be going all the way.
Just enough. And importantly, hitting it straight. That same shot, there was a long off and a long on. If it wasn't hit straight, the trajectory of that ball would have gone perfectly into the hands of long off or long on. But because of the accuracy where he hit it, that's why he got 6 from it.
Yeah, hit it straight. He is a big hitter of the ball, Dafedar. We've seen in one of the earlier innings. And by picking that spot, like you said, Gautam, hitting it straight, is probably the safest shot.
Not the first time we've seen some big hits from Dafedar. This was when he got a quick fire 33 of just 18 against the Akash Tigers. He went on to be man of the match on that occasion. Yeah, he contributed with the ball as well. On this occasion, it's back live here, and it's not a boundary. But oh dear, a bit of confusion because he has fallen. Yogesh Takavle. A little bit of a collision with the bowler. All's good. End of 17, 109 for 3. Supersonics don't want to do is fall short of whatever target they have in mind. With batting resources, still sitting in the dugout, having not got an opportunity. And you've got men in form, someone like T20 who's just played his first game
Bowling change.
and
Coming right
performed
over.
well.
Leg stick.
Rumil Matkar.
Middle.
This is how the previous over finished. Bowler and batsman just getting to know each other better.
Well, where was he going? He was going around the bowler. I'm a bit surprised at that running between the wickets.
I think he just ran out of space. It's like trying to drive through one of those areas where the metro construction is on in various parts of Mumbai.
Throughout this tournament, Gautam, I got an impression that the last 2 or 3 overs produced probably 25-30 runs. And that's been the trend of innings, that they just about make that 145, 150 mark. But this one's going to be a tough one because they're only going at 6.41.
That's got to be gone. That was absolutely plumb. Fairly simple for Vrinda Rathi to adjudicate that. She's been excellent so far. Saw an earlier vociferous appeal turned down on that occasion, just completely deceived. And I don't think you need to be an umpire in the absolute top draw. That's one of those you can show in a training video.
Absolutely plumb in front of the wicket to a slower delivery.
Cleverly bowled there. Dafidar goes for 9, it's 110 for 4. They've decided to send out a pinch hitter of sorts, in a sense. Rohan Raje coming out ahead of the more established batsman in Japjit Randhawa or even Drumil Matkar. He can strike the ball well, Rohan Raje, but generally ends up batting at number 7, 8, 9. So it's always useful if you have someone with a strike rate in excess of 200 to be used well. So maybe this was a good move from the Supersonics. Can they try and push this towards 140 plus?
I don't think Rohan Raje has the opportunity of even blocking a ball. He's got to go right from the word go. That's a slower delivery, played completely across the line, and that's why he was in no way close to the ball. Beautifully bowled. The umpire had no doubt at all. The batsman shouldn't have any.
That's Vrinda Rathi who adjudicated that. Yeah, he was saying no opportunity to block the ball. I don't think he knows how to block the ball, Rohan Raje. It's the only way he plays.
But Gautam, I would think that on a wicket so sluggish as this, and where the ball is not coming onto the bat, the best way is to hit straight. I've been saying it from the last couple of days because hitting across the ball, you cannot time the ball on such wickets when you come across the line. I don't know why they're not playing straight. The straight bat with that gap in front, at long off and long on. The side screen is the place you should hit.
Yeah, good lesson for all those kids watching as well. Play straight, keep it simple. This game has given rise to all sorts of stroke play, all sorts of innovations. Sometimes quite not always necessary. On that occasion, almost picks up a one-handed 4. Rohan Raje was desperate to come back for a third. But I think Takavle is just a little winded at the moment.
Short delivery, slower ball again. That's why the left hand came off the handle. But the more strike Rohan Raje takes, the better it will be, because he's a big hitter of the ball. And Takavle is there for a long time.
Tries to use the mantra of hitting it straight.
Too much of right hand in it. Play with your left forearm and allow your right hand to give the leverage to the ball, to the shot.
Unfortunately, it's only our viewers who are getting the privilege of these coaching lessons from Milind Rege. Takavle is not mic'd up. He's not listening to this. He just has to listen to his own conscience. And he does stuff like that. In this case, it's effective. Straight wasn't working, across the line wasn't working, so let me go behind the wicketkeeper. Modern day innovation at its best. 18 gone, 117 for 4. Two overs to go. They've only lost 4 wickets. Typically, you'd expect on a reasonably decent surface, if you've got 6 wickets in hand, probably would be more around 130, 140 already. But it's been the trend in this tournament, perhaps waiting a little too long for that final push. And they've done it again. Can they even get to about 140? And I think that's pretty much minimum on this surface if they want to win this game. Because for them, it's important to win this game, unlike for the Lions, who are just playing for pride.
And mind you, Gautam, it's not such a bad wicket at all, except that the ball may not be coming as quickly as they intend to. But by now, the batsmen should make adjustments. They've played a couple of games on this wicket. You must know how to bat on certain wickets. And they've played about 4 games by now. The ball is not turning. Look at that boundary. Oh, beautifully played. That's the kind of modern day cricket it is in T20, at the risk of being hit on the mouth.
And again, this time it was a little simpler because it was a full toss and it was just helped along its way. It's gone all the way for 6. I'm wondering if the umpires are wanting to check on the height of that ball, if it was a full toss no ball or not, but I reckon they've allowed that one.
Moves inside the line of the ball. A nice juicy full toss. And she played in the area that needs to be played. There you see it. Would that be a no ball, really? They should check it out.
I think it was close. Perhaps the movement of the batsman who was shuffling around a little bit. Rohan Raje, we know what he's going to do. Look out. Again he shuffles. This time on the offside, but he's only going to get a couple of runs there. Comes charging back for 2. That time of the innings, everything must go. 125 for 4. We're looking at bare minimum 140.
Gautam, why is it that many batsmen suddenly change their way of batting, maybe their temperament changes to go for big hits only in the last 1 or 2 overs?
That's the compensation, or the overcompensation from Bengre, the bowler. Realizes that Rohan Raje is going to come hard at him. Waist high full toss, put away for 6. Next one, got a couple of runs. Got to be clever as a bowler. One option, change of pace. You have a good Yorker, of course, no better weapon. We haven't seen evidence of that so far.
That's well bowled. He saw him coming towards the off stump. Clever bowling, nice little Yorker. So far, not a bad over, being the 19th, just the 9.
Yeah, and get the wideish Yorker, which was, I think, very effective. Rohan Raje wants a new bat. He's not going to get it right now. I don't think the umpire would allow it for him unless it was actually cracked. Oh, that's hurt sweetly. You could hear the sound of the bat. That's going to go 10 rows back. Beautifully hit by Rohan Raje, and that's the reason he's been sent up the order.
Why would he want to change the bat at that stage, isn't it? It seems to be. If he can hit with a cracked bat. Oh, big hit. Didn't get it in the sweet spot really, but the bats these days are all, every single inch of it is a sweet spot. Beautifully picked all the way into the stands at long off. That's a huge 6 really.
But I can tell you he did change the bat. I thought for a moment because of that 6 he'd send the substitute fielder back. He didn't. He's changed it. So if cracked bat sends it that far, Watch out, Shivaji Park Lions. Clever, very clever. But I just don't think he got enough contact on that one. He'll just take 2. The previous bat was better, Rohan.
Once again takes in the full toss. Absolutely tricked the bowler into with the movements he had. It's not a bad over at all. 17 runs and 1 more to go.
Ball to go and over to go. We said bare minimum 140. I think they'll start getting greedy now, thinking 150. Still a couple of decent strikers sitting in the dugout. They'll want Rohan Raje to do it here. Oh, that's good. That could be just about on the boundary line. I told you, Rohan, the previous bat was better. Somebody sent him out a dud. He had the same flourish, but I don't think he quite adjusted to this new piece of willow.
He tried to play inside out, as you can see, and he didn't time it too well. Maybe the bottom part of the bat. Nicely just catch at long off.
Looks a little disappointed there. Pradhan takes the catch. Pendray the wicket. 17 off 7. Just what the doctor ordered at this stage of the innings. 1 over to go. 134 for 5. Rohan Raje walks out with an excellent, well-timed cameo. Dhumil Matkar. Still Japjit Randhawa to come. So lots of batting credentials for the Sobo Supersonics. In a game they want to seal or attempt to seal a semi-final spot in. Ark Sandheri already there. 3 spots up for grabs. 6 teams looking like they can get their hands on those 3 spots. Shivaji Park Lions, not one of them.
Matkar is capable of playing some shots to the point region and also to the square leg region. There you can see some empty spaces. He's going to target probably the extra cover area. Depends where the bowler is going to bowl the next ball. Ideally bowl slower deliveries.
Well, he had protection down there for that kind of shot, so he was not afraid to pitch it up, knowing that third man was back. That's another look. Also didn't quite hit the middle, off the bottom of the bat. I saw him walking back into the dugout and had a little chat with the substitute fielder, probably telling him, what kind of bat did you get me? Was it mine or someone? To go Takavale on strike.
Can't blame your tools. I was a bit surprised that he wasn't allowed to change the bat, because if it's cracked, I wonder if he's not within his rights to do it.
Oh, that's just about as straight as it gets, but it finds a boot of Atish Gawand. Ouch, that must hurt.
He'll need a lot of icing when he goes back. Oof, that one hurt. My God, had it taken his shins, he would have been in trouble.
Excellently bowled. And excellently thrown as well. He just keeps walking back, Yogesh Takavale. Firstly, it was an excellent delivery, deceived him all ends up. Then he went for that quick single. Have a look.
Scorching Yorker. Funnily played, and then the bowler has a terrific cricket all round. Simply great understanding of the game.
That's the end of Takavale. Very well played, 40 of 32 deliveries, but just couldn't get that momentum in the last quarter of the innings. 135 for 6 with 3 deliveries to go. Now, we were starting to talk about 150 when Rohan Raje was there. Now we've lost both the set batsmen. Takavle is gone, Rohan Raja is gone. How can they still dream about 150? Unlikely.
Unlikely, but what they need now is a 6. Time it well. Don't play across the line. Don't play a wild slog. Play a cricketing shot, because that's the kind of shot that can get you runs on a wicket like this. Drumil Matka should be looking at the side screen to play that shot, or the other good shot that he plays is over extra cover.
He looks like he's got decent placement on that, and he's threaded the needle. Magnificently placed there. There were 2 fielders, one at mid-wicket, one at long on, and he just managed to get that perfect placement between the 2.
Stand and deliver, went deep into his crease. And he saw the vacant mid-wicket area. Valiant effort there.
So the 140 has come just about. 2 deliveries to go. That's high. Is it long enough? It's very long. Oh, that's gone about 15 rows back. Where were you all this time, Drumil Matka? It's the middle and lower middle order of the Supersonics who are setting this last quarter of the innings on fire.
Really gave it the whack. Opened and hit it towards that mid-wicket area. Another 6 will take them to 150, and that would be a challenging score, or even a boundary for that matter.
Striking at 366 now, Drumil Matka. These little end innings cameos that are helping the Sobo Supersonics. Won their first 3 games, lost their 4th, looking to get back to winning ways. Final delivery of the innings. And it's not going to be the final delivery, he'll have to bowl it again.
That should be 2 white balls, really.
Just 1 umpire, so we'll just get the 1 wide out of it.
Where is this one going to go, Gautam? Mid-wicket again?
I reckon mid-wicket's the region to go. Okay, we got that wrong, but nonetheless, he'll pick up runs. He'll get that boundary. He was kind of swinging in the arc towards mid-wicket, but he'll take that. He'll take the edge going for 4, and the target is going to be exactly 151. So we mentioned a boundary. Well, that wide kind of helped. The boundary plus the wide gave you exactly 150. So 2 very productive overs to finish with. 17 of the 19th, 16 of the 20th, 33 runs of the last 2 overs to give the Sobo Supersonics something to defend. 40 of 32 to Takavle, top scorer. Jay Bista was good, but couldn't get that momentum going again. Got a start, didn't carry on. 33 of 31, but Rohan Raja and Drumil Matka providing the late innings flourish. Those are these 2 partnerships, 24 of 11 and 15 of 4. That's taken them to 150. The real question will be, will it be enough? He varied his bowlers around, but you could see the quicker bowlers have gone for a few, while the spin bowlers have been absolutely outstanding. 151 is going to be the target for the Shivaji Park Lions, but let's get a perspective from one of the 2 dugouts and find out who Manish Patavia has got down there.
Well, one more case of the middle over muddle leading to an up and down show from the batting side. Yogesh Takavle, the top scorer, went big, unfortunately not able to give the team that impetus that he needed. Yogesh, जब आपने टॉस जीता, बैटिंग करने का फैसला किया, तो क्या टोटल जहन में था और कितनी बार वो टोटल रिवाइज हुआ?
ऐसा कुछ सोचा नहीं था. जितना हम लोग अच्छा पार्टनरशिप कर सकते थे उसके ऊपर ज़्यादा ध्यान दे रहे थे. और एंड में 20th ओवर के बाद जितना होगा तो उतना तो डिपेंड करना पड़ेगा.
और जब स्पिनर्स बॉलिंग कर रहे थे तो क्या पिच की प्रॉब्लम थी या फिर स्पिनर्स बहुत अच्छी गेंदबाजी कर रहे थे?
नहीं, थोड़ा रुक के आ रहा था इनिशियली पहले 6 ओवर, उसके बाद उन लोगों ने भी अच्छा बॉलिंग डाला. बट हम लोग के पास भी अच्छा बॉलर है. अगर हम लोग 6 ओवर अच्छा डालेंगे और अनफॉर्चुनेटली अगर 2-3 विकेट एक्स्ट्रा मिल जाएगा तो गेम बन सकता है.
3 जीत आपकी टीम ने हासिल की है, सेमीफाइनल जाने की प्रबल दावेदार है, लेकिन ऐसा कौन सा एरिया है जो आपकी टीम इन मैचेस में ठीक करना चाहती है सेमीफाइनल्स आए उससे पहले?
वेल ऑब्वियस हम लोग अच्छा कर रहे हैं, 4 मैच हो गए अभी भाई, लास्ट मैच है तो लास्ट एफर्ट बाकी हम लोग पूरी तरह से हम लोग प्रिपेयर है तो रिजल्ट हो जाएगा.
Alright, thanks so much.
Well, it looks like the Shivaji Park Lions will have their work cut out. It's not monumental, but I think it's very decent. And the momentum is with the batting side. 151 in 20 overs. And what a journey it's been. The second year of T20 Mumbai. And I think it's all thanks to the hard work of the MCA that we've seen a second year of another very, very successful tournament. It's a warm afternoon, but I can tell you as the sun starts setting, those stands will start filling up.
I've heard stories of legends. Legends who changed the game forever. Of gods who rained down storms from their bats. Stories etched in gold, made from sweat, blood, and tears. Today, I stand where they once stood. There are many more stories left to be told here at the MCA. I hope you're listening.
That's where we are at the halfway mark of the first game in today's doubleheader, T20 Mumbai 2019. Sobo Supersonics captain Jay Bista won the toss, decided to bat first, and this is where they finished up. Bista himself opening the batting, 33 of 31, but it was only in the middle and lower middle order that they got any sort of momentum. Yogesh Takavle was there till pretty much almost at the end. Rohan Raje and Drumil Matkar providing the impetus. And this is how the innings started with Harsh Tank, who likes to give it a hit. But then the second time he tried it, that was the first wicket to fall for the Supersonics. Then they steadied the ship. Did Jay Bista at one end, and Khanapurkar, who's been in sizzling form. And they were looking for one of these two to go big. Bista was playing innovative shots, but also playing very straight. And when Khanapurkar hits them big, they stay hit. This was the big wicket. Completely deceived over there, and they started losing momentum at this time of the innings. The boundaries were coming sporadically. Some a little bit more fortunate than the others. It was Takavle who took centre stage, 2 sixes and a 4. Jay Bista also tried to go really big, but then found the fielder at deep square leg. And that was the end of the captain. Just when it looked as if the Supersonics would be kept to around 130, 135, they found some momentum at the end after the wicket of Dafidar, who was trapped plumb in front to a slower one. Some excellent blows towards the end. One from Rohan Raje, and at the other end, it was Drumil Matkar who would come and finish things off. After the dismissal of Rohan Raje, having changed his bat just the delivery before that. Matkar came in and improvised at the end. This run out of Yogesh Takavle was the last wicket to fall. That was wicket number 6 for the Supersonics. They needed a big finish, and they got that big finish at the end. 17 runs off the 19th over and 16 of the 20th, making it a total of 33 in the last 12 deliveries to finish. This was the last ball of the innings. Let's see, even though the wickets were shared around, the quicker bowlers always going for plenty. If you need to get your CV for this tournament, just say you're a left-arm spinner, you'll get into any side, and most of them have performed. The target for the Shivaji Park Lions, who, as we said at the very start, are playing for pride, but for the Supersonics, they need to be defending this total. 151 for the Shivaji Park Lions to spoil the Supersonics party.
So on this wonderful Wednesday, doubleheader at the Wankhede Stadium, Mumbai, the Sobo Supersonics versus the Shivaji Park Lions. The Sobo Supersonics have scored 150 for the loss of 6 wickets in 20 overs. The Shivaji Park Lions, to register their first win in T20 Mumbai, need 151 to win at a required run rate of 7.55 per over. A lot at stake in terms of pride for the Shivaji Park Lions, but the boys in yellow, that's the Sobo Supersonics, looking to cement their place in the semi-finals. They've been good. The first 3 matches they were undefeated. Yesterday they tasted their first defeat when Namo Bandra Blasters beat them. Today they scored 150 for 6 as the opening batsman Swapnil Pradhan of Shivaji Park Lions, strike rate of 104.26, just taking guard, getting ready to face at the non-striker's end his partner, jersey number 09, Rudra Dande, playing his 4th match, is 7 runs, strike rate of 63.64. So it's the chase that is on as we welcome Charu Sharma in the commentator's box. Good evening, Charu.
Good evening, Prasanna. Well, we talk about how important it is for Lions playing for pride, but really it's all for the Sobo Supersonics to defend that total. Because I wonder what Jay Bista would have told his team. Well, for starters, of course, for the bowlers to make sure they bowl no wides. Keep it very stump to stump or outside off. He himself is at slip, Jay Bista. And also, field like devils. Make sure you give nothing away in the field. Take all your catches. Be tight. Nice ball first up. So, you know, if they're sharp in the field, this score is not going to be easy. Because the Lions do not have the big strikers. They don't have their Siddesh Lad, their skipper. They don't have Dubey, who was their biggest hitter. So it's going to be difficult for them for sure.
It's going to be difficult. We spoke about patterns. Another pattern today. The first over today was bowled by left-arm spinner Zoe Zode. In this innings, it's bowled by Drumil Matkar.
Forget first over. Every over ought to be bowled by left-arm spinners. And he almost had his man that second ball. It was full. And Pradhan missed the line. Luckily, it hit the pads.
It's been left-arm spinners. Nicely done. Opening the face to the bat. First runs in the form of a boundary of the bat of Swapnil Pradhan. The Shivaji Park Lions are off and running with that boundary. Nicely done.
Well, yeah, it was a bit of a gamble that Jay Bista took by being at slip, so that meant there was a fair gap between him and wide short third. And that, of course, will quickly, I think, be blocked now. Bista said, well, forget it then. Okay, so we have a very square short third, a backward point. 2 other men in the covers. Brilliant! Straighter one, slightly quicker. Pradhan shaped up to play that on the back foot, and he was too late on it.
Oh yes, he was too late, and what a ball that from Drumil Matkar. The new ball, a left-arm spinner. The armour went with the arm in turn, and it was, oh yes, Swapnil Pradhan too late. Beaten all ends up. That's a good start for the Sobo Supersonics. The left-arm spinner, Drumil Matkar, strikes. Swapnil Pradhan out on 4. The Shivaji Park Lions are 4 for 1.
Center. Thank you.
Left arm round, coming diagonal. 2 to come.
अभी आ जाएगा. Good side.
So 4 for 1 of the Shivaji Park Lions. The new batsman is the wicketkeeper batsman Sachin Yadav, kept well, but now has the responsibility with the bat in hand. There's a slip in place. Nicely bowled by Drumil Matka once again, nicely flighting that ball.
Yeah, again, a decent field for a lefty now. As Yadav only 60 runs, I'm sure the strike rate was not going to be great and will be improved, right? 88, not the kind of strike rate that wins you T20 games. Vistas a slip again. And I think the two outfielders are long on and deep mid-wicket. So that's a pretty good field for a lefty batsman if he wants to go big. End of the over, 1 for 5.
Slightly. Point आ जा पराग. Next एक पीछे वाला point तो आगे वाला रहे. जल्दी जा. Point, 2 point. एक इधर रहे. लड्डू आगे रहना. Coming right arm over. Leg. Thank you. तू आगे आना. पीछे जा. Ali. तू आगे आना. उससे सीधा रहे.
So 5 for 1 at the end of the first over. The first over was bowled by the left-arm spinner Drumil Matkar. Gave it just 5 runs and picked that wicket of Swapnil Pradhan. It's going to be Rohan Raze. Ball right and fast. Oh, down the leg side. The fine leg is inside the 30-yard circle, and that's easy pickings for Sachin Yadav.
I'm going to sound brutal here, but why get any medium pacer at all? If you have lefty spinners, bring them on. Or even a leg spinner we saw in the previous innings. Even the leggies got a lot out of this pitch. You just have to land it in good areas, and the batsmen just get like rabbits under the glare. Can't score. And you step out, try and hit big, you might get away with one hit, but then invariably you misread the line or the length particularly, and then hole out.
Oh yes, he has Vaibhav Malik, Khizar Dafidar, two spinners. Once again, a short ball pulled away. So the first 2 balls, 6 runs off and running. We're speaking about the importance of spinners and the contribution of spinners in this T20 Mumbai League. That's the way to go ahead.
Well, it's the most obvious way to go ahead, that's for sure. Also because lefty spinners have that something special about them, which strangely right-arm off-spin bowlers don't, because lefty spinners can be ridiculously accurate. You can hit the coin, if you place a coin there, 5 times out of 6. Such is that natural ability.
Oh yes, such is their natural ability, and more than that, also the left-arm spinners that we've seen here have picked wickets. Karsh Kothari was one of best balls of the T20 Mumbai League, where he picked up the wicket of Siddesh Lad. Yesterday we saw Deshpande bowling really well. Tushar Deshpande with the medium pace. He's been probably the only medium pacer that has bowled really well.
Others have also taken wickets sometimes towards the end, because invariably the game plan is in the last 5 overs, at least 3 if not more are bowled by medium pacers, and when they come back to finish their spells. So the batsmen at that point of time, of course, have no choice. So they're death overs, and they have to go hard. So they tend to get maybe 10, 12, 14 at times of the medium pacers, but you can't win them all. So you give a wicket or 2, and all of a sudden the medium pacers who are like 1 for or none for 30 are suddenly 3 for 40, because in the last over or 2 they pick up bunches of wickets because the batsmen are going hard.
Yes, absolutely. That's a wide ball. We're talking about the bowlers. It's about the most wickets. Royston Dice, 8 wickets for the Triumph Knights, Mumbai Northeast. 3 that he picked up in 1 over that he bowled last.
Thank you, last. That's important. And, you know, I mean, those who bowl in the final over or 2 will always have the analysis spoilt in terms of number of runs, but are likely to pick up the most wickets. Angawadi 7, Sujit Naik, the left arm spin. Atharwala, Drumil Matkar is here. All spinners.
Zamkur Singh also bowled really well yesterday for the Arcs Andheri. The 18th and the 20th over. Under pressure, bowled really well. Arjun Tendulkar impressed. There have been good bowling spells that we've seen. Royston Dice, as we said, is the highest wicket taker in the T20 Mumbai League. But every team, there has been at least a couple of left-arm spinners who have done the major bowling. Royston Dice, 8 wickets. Pratik Hangwari, 7. Sujit Naik, Atif Atrwala, Drumil Matkar and Sagar Mishra, 6 each. 3 left-arm spinners there.
And you mentioned Tushar Deshpande. He's bowled so well. Where's he? Not among, well, the leaders at any rate, but he truly did bowl well. The quickest, perhaps. Really bends his back, works so hard, Tushar. Very impressive.
Slightly in the air. Single there to finish 2 overs, 14 for 1. So bowling change. 2 overs bowled, 14 for 1. Third over to be bowled by Vaibhav Mali.
And surprise, surprise. He's a left-arm spinner.
Oh yes, a big surprise. A left-arm spinner. Taking his 5th match, picked up 3 wickets, an economy of 6.56, best of 2 for 28.
And the other thing with lefty spinners is that they may not pick up too many wickets, and we've seen that they haven't really picked up huge wickets. But it's so difficult to go hard at them because for most right-hand batsmen, most batsmen right-hand in any team, we just wonder, is it going to take some spin or not? Is it going to be the armour? And oh, well done, Jay Bista, magnificent again. No cover sweeper, so had that gotten past, that would have been 4. He has been brilliant in the field, I've got to say. He's so fit, strong.
Oh yes, he's a live wire. Even yesterday against Namo Bandra Blasters, he was diving inside that plot, inside the 30-yard circle, close and fielder. And also, being the captain, when it comes to crunch situations, he also doesn't hesitate to go on the boundaries.
Well, you know what I said at the top of the innings, that he must have told his team, follow me, follow my example, be really tough in the field. Because it's not a huge total, and a few fielding errors could be trouble.
Yes, it could be, so they have to save each and every run, and the captain Jay Bista leading by example, saved a few runs there, diving to his left and saving that. 104 balls, 136 to win for the Shivaji Park Lions. Comes down the wicket, nicely played, and it's over the fence for a wonderful shot, a 6 of the bat of the left-handed Sachin Yadav.
Even the lefty spinners will come up against some opposition, and that usually is left-handed batsman. So nice dance down the track. You have to say, Yadav did very well. Didn't try and overhit it, and he knew there was no cover there anywhere because mid-off was in. All he needed to do was clear mid-off, but he struck that well.
Yes, he did strike that well this time. A short ball slightly uppish, but just short of the fielder there. 3 overs bowled, 7 runs of that over. Score reached 21 for 1. So Rohan Razi continuing his spell. The first over that he bowled gave in 9 runs. Oh, going for that cheeky shot and given out, got behind.
Well, the batsman's distraught. I wonder why. One, perhaps because he thinks, why did I do that? And two, did it go off the shoulder or somewhere else, a forearm? He's walking back very slowly. Vrinda Rati, the umpire, was quick to raise a finger. Let's take a look why. Goes for the scoop, and yeah, it's off the bat, we think, from this angle. I wonder if that was off the shoulder from another angle, but the keeper and bowler were convinced, and the umpire followed up very, very quickly.
Rohan Razi picks up that wicket. Rudra Dhande out on 2, 21 for 2 other lines. It's not the best of starts for the Shivaji Park Lions. Inside the power play overs, 2 wickets are down. Both the openers back in the pavilion. Sachin Yadav now is joined by the captain Raunak Sharma. A big responsibility on him, playing his 12th match. Scored 138 runs, striker of 140.81, leading the team today.
Yeah, added responsibility, but he's batted well. And today, of course, psychologically boosted because he's also bowled well earlier on.
That also makes a difference when you started the match well, led the team, picked up 2 wickets, now with the bat in hand, an all-rounder have a big role to play. Rudra Dhande. The thing with these shots is when they come off, it looks really good. Oh, it took the risk, it was innovative, inventive, but when they don't, it looks a little awkward.
So Rajay with a bit of a bonus, a wicket off the first over. Quite needless, really, for Dhande to have done what he did. But we always say that we're also a little cruel, aren't we? Because had he pulled it off, we would say, oh, inventive, smart. But too early, perhaps, in the innings. There we go again.
Yes, and short ball from Rohan Razi to follow up. Bending his back there is Rohan Razi. Oh, good commitment.
Lovely. Equal dives by the bowler and the non-striker racing in. Quite a sight. Somebody, I hope, has taken a photograph there. But unfortunately, he missed it completely. Okay, take a look at the dives. And on the right and on the left. Who wins? Well, the batsman in that case. Because Rajay didn't quite pick up the ball at all. But I wonder if it would have been close. Probably not.
Yes, it takes us back to the fielding drills that are conducted by the coaches where...
Let's just take a look at that scoop again from the side. Because from the front, of course, it did look like it clipped the bat. And then on the side, what happens here? That's the front again. Yeah, did it come very quickly off the bat? Okay, no shoulder. So just disappointment for the batsman who must have said, why did I have to play that? And I'm glad the umpire got it absolutely right too, because sometimes it can be tricky.
Oh yes, spot on was Rundarati. Round the wicket to the left-hander. This time places it and calls for a single. That good early call made that single easily possible. Good over this from Rohan Razi. There's 2 runs of this over and also picked up a wicket of Rudra Dhande. Shivaji Park Lions are looking for their first win, not the best of starts in the power play.
Well, all things considered, he's bowled well, Rohan Razik. That one wide, I think, was the only loose delivery. Of course, he did give a boundary in the first over, but this one's been magnificent. Wonderful comeback, just 2 off it, a wicket off the first delivery. They must end it in style.
Ends it well with the dot ball. 4 overs bowled, 23 for the
राजन है
So 96 balls, 128 required for the Shivaji Park Lions. 4 overs bowled, 23 for 2 they are. Drumil Matkar and Rohan Razik, the 2 wicket-taking bowlers.
Well, I have no doubt that the Supersonics are going to be very tight in the field, led by the extremely agile and athletic Jay Bista. So it's up to the Lions now. Who's going to play a special knock today? Ronak Sharma, quite possibly. Yadav's played some really pleasing big shots, but somebody will have to come in with a Shivam Dubey type of knock.
Oh yes, somebody will have to play that Shivam Dubey type of knock, because Shivam Dubey is not there today, playing for the Shivaji Park Lions, all for India A duty.
Well, guess who else is not in that leading wicket takers list? This man, Badri Alam, who was the leading wicket taker last year.
red ball
Again, I'm not suggesting he's bowled badly at all. It's just that the pitches have not exactly been very supportive of the faster bowlers, unless you bowl at the death and pick up wickets in bushels because people are going hard at you. Of course, you also give runs very often. Not that Ankur, you mentioned very importantly, gave away any yesterday. So he must have learned some new tricks, because he was full and 5 out of 6 were unscorable. He did very well.
Oh yes, bowled really well yesterday, Ankur Singh, with his left arm medium pace, and he was so accurate. And when it was a pressure situation, Alpesh Ramjani was trying to take that match away for the Thane Eagles strikers, and at that time he bowled those 2 pressure overs. But good start this for Badri Alam's spell. Starts well. There's a slip in place. Jay Bista has had accurate field placements, good field placements, always attacked, tried to get those wickets, and he's already got 2.
Yeah, one of them certainly a big bonus, the missed scoop.
Nicely driven, get a single. The singles won't do, because the required run rate is now slowly but surely climbing. It's now gone beyond 8. 8.11 is the required run rate. The current run rate that the Shivaji Park Lions are going at is 5.54. 94 balls, 127 required.
Well, I suspect this might be better for Badri Alam, because he didn't quite cut it across the left-hander. But Jay Bista still at slip. And if Badri Alam can move the ball away, then Ronak, being new, 1 in 4, may just be a little nervous at this point of time. Nice, free-flowing off drive. Now runs, didn't quite time it well.
Didn't quite time it well. It's all important to get these runs in the power play overs. When you strike them, try to get those in the gaps, and that's what is crucial. Jay Bista, the fielder there at mid-off. Also having a quick word with Badri Alam. Oh, what a shot that is. Wonderfully timed, about 10 rows back. Brilliant batting this from Ronak Sharma. You mentioned about Shivam Dubey like hitting. Ronak Sharma starts well, 6 number 162 in the T20 Mumbai.
That was just brilliant. What a pickup. It was in the slot, mind you, angling down leg. And Ronak Sharma didn't give it the big heave-ho. just a strong man, plenty of final wrist there as well. Huge six, and Badri Alam will be wondering, what did I do wrong there? I mean, life is so tough for us medium pacers. Bring on the lefty spinners again. But I did say somebody needs to play a very special knock. And of course, he could do that fearlessly because the field is in, it's still power play. And you don't want to miss that shot after the power play because there will be plenty of people at the boundary. Handsome shot, pleasing to see.
Oh yes, pleasing to see. We were speaking about piercing the gap, but if you can connect that well, why not? Oh, thought of a single, but sent back. 7 runs of this over.
Yeah, I think Yadav did very well to send back his skipper, who just patted it down, and Badri Alam was very quickly onto the ball. Ronak, a 51 not out in just 30 deliveries against Ox Andheri, who, by the way, are doing very well. So that's a tough team. And he did show plenty of ability. Even that 18 from 10 shows that his strike rate is something that the opposition needs to be careful about, because it's all about strike rate eventually. And if he can get a quick 16-30, his team might have some opportunities here.
Oh yes, if he can bat at that strike rate, and that he scored against Ox Andheri, the only team to have qualified so far for the semi-finals of the T20 Mumbai League. Nicely driven, a crisp try, but straight to the fielder. Got ball to finish 5 overs. The Shivaji Park Lions are 30.
Live scores, news,
Team preview,
match predictions.
fan code. Fan code.
Fan code.
No ads, pure sports.
Bowling change, left arm round, coming across.
Right, so in pursuit of 151, 30 for 2 in the 5. Oh, what a rarity, a left-arm spinner. I didn't know we had left-arm spinners in this tournament.
Pretty much been the talking point in the last spell as well.
Charu Sharma used the word bushels, which made me promptly Google what it meant. Bushels. Wow. So much to learn every day in the combox. Stand down the track. Left-arm spinners have been a bit of a staple diet here, much like rice in a Bengali household. Bimani would know a thing or two about that.
I was wondering why you were asking me. Yeah, it can be 3 times a day at times. At least that's what it is for me. Ronak, responsibility as captain, as well as, of course, batsman, knowing the absence of Siddesh Lad and Shivam Dube.
Very often it's possible to get caught up in the micro picture, but the Shivaji Park Lions look at the bigger picture. These are ones who are in action today. I believe it's a massive opportunity. Leave aside what's happening to your team, whether you'll make it to the semis or not. You're most likely not to. Imagine there are selectors watching, IPL talent scouts watching, a couple of big innings, a great spell, and who knows what door it might open.
Spot on. I think that's one of the reasons why this tournament is so special. It's because it's a platform. Winning it is great. You play any kind of competitive sport to try and be one step ahead of the opposition. But you also play it to make your own step up to the next level of the game, and this is what it does. We saw Shivam Dube with his knocks last year. Where did he go? Straight into the IPL. And it was not a coincidence. Just like shots like that are not a coincidence. You heard the sound of the bat from Ronak Sharma, the captain, straight into the stands. How sweet was that?
Sweet as a Rasgulla. That's sweet spot into the lower tier of the Divecha Pavilion. I'm sure it's dead to one of those bucket seats there.
This is the Mumbai T20. What's with you and Bengalis this afternoon?
I'm just being kind to my fellow Bengali colleague. Are you a Bengali half Kachi? I've always been confused about your roots.
Oh, a bit of confusion there. Stop saying you words like that. The batsmen were listening. 39 for 2 at the end of the power play.
बॉलर ये तो स्पिन डालता है ना
चल चल पराग बात कर टेंडर है
So then 6 overs gone the power play, 39 for 2. We saw what happened in the first innings, 50 in the power play. And they got just 100 runs in the remaining 14 overs. So, well, the calendar era is based on BC80. But I think the T20 Mumbai should be looked at with BP and AP. BPP and APP, before power play, after power play. Completely different worlds.
The prize package from the last game, Kanapurkar, back with his leg spinners. The previous occasion he had failed with the bat, compensated with the ball. This time, well, not exactly setting the Wankhede on fire. Got a decent enough start, didn't quite carry on to greater heights, but always seems to pick those wickets up, as do leg spinners all over the world.
Hit that on the full, there is protection. Parag Kanapurkar, I'd like to believe, and I'm going to stick my neck out on this, is for me one of the top contenders for player of the tournament.
Does hold the highest individual score, and if you can keep contributing with the ball, I'd say all-rounders have an unfair advantage when it comes to player of the tournament in a long tournament. Because if you rack up points for runs scored and wickets taken and catches taken, I almost think when it comes to awards like this, there should be a bit of weightage for a batsman who doesn't have the opportunity to bowl. Purely from the point of view of a tournament where you're awarding someone in terms of impact. Now, there may be times when an all-rounder just gets wickets which are cheap wickets, so there should be a way to weight those achievements.
Or the other way to look at it is perhaps players will tend to want to offer more than one skill. Like you do, commentator, quizzer, color connoisseur. What else do I say? Travels from, gets paid to travel. I'm not even sure how to frame it.
And we went away from my diet. Yeah, that part of me is rather confused because to answer your question, yes, half from the western part of the country in Gujarat and the other half from Bengal, so stomach doesn't know which way to turn. Trust me, it turns towards the east. These vegetarians, I tell you.
We leave enough food for you.
Oh, that's a good run. That's an excellent run. Randhawa was quick, but not quick enough at point. And I think they picked the fielder there. 7 overs, 44 for 2. Well, Dream 11 points are coming thick and fast. Yogesh Takavle kept wickets, batted well. Rohan Raje, of course, also contributed low down the order with the bat. Trumil Matkar, another all-rounder. It's not a coincidence that we see players with all-round contributions who make their way up the Dream 11 list. Even for someone like Takavle, if you consider points for taking a catch as a keeper along with batting, it really means all-rounders have a field day as Dream 11 game changers.
Well, the word game changers makes me look at this tournament or this property, the T20 Mumbai, a potential proven game changer for a lot of young cricketers in the Dream City. Now, if you look at what's happened to the Lions from their ownership point of view, yes, the obvious return on investment not great so far, but minus the big stars, if the Lions can do well, it does give them an indication for the future.
And that looks like that could be another one that's running away from the fielder. Oh dear, what was he doing there? Almost as if he was coaxing the ball to stop, and it did. Wonder if Brinda Rathi will want to have another look, but I think she's being generous on that occasion. She's allowed the fielder the benefit of the doubt. Very, very close to hashtag Ekdam Mumbai.
Well, women in general are better judges of what men do.
Well, she's just signalled a wide.
Come on, boys.
That's the scope for a very long conversation to come. So we'll steer clear of that one.
Just say, I agree.
But you have to say that Brinda Rathi has been absolutely top class today. She's had some difficult calls to make. Had a tough one with that caught behind. We had a couple of LBW shouts, one which she turned down early on in the day, one which she gave.
We'll think about the two. Ran the first one very hard. Good call, good early call for the two there. Yes, he spoke about Brinda Rathi, the umpire. Good to see the tournament being inclusive in many ways, covering all parts of Mumbai, having women officiating in these games.
Yes, it's wonderful seeing them on the field, both as players and officials. I think he missed out there. Really would have felt he missed out on a juicy full toss from Dafedar. And just not getting the placement that he would have wanted. 50 up in the 8th over for the Shivaji Park Lions.
Well, they've taken 11 more balls than the other team. Supersonics took 6 overs to reach the 50-run mark, and then suddenly decided to shut shop.
Yeah, it was that middle phase of the innings that we often talk about, 8 gone, 51 for 2. See the red Shivaji Park worm starting to climb towards where it should be in green territory. Exactly 100 needed of the last 12.
Well, after 6 they were 50, the Supersonics, and after 8 they were 55, so not much of a difference really. And I'd like to think the Lions are on course for their first win, unless things change. A single to start the over. Let's now go down to Karishma Kotak, who's got a guest with her.
I do. I have Praveen Amre, the mentor for the Sobo Supersonics. How do you think Sobo Supersonics have performed so far?
Well, I think for any franchisee and any team to start well is very important, and I think we started brilliantly. We won first 3 games consecutively, and I think that's boys are very confident. They know that their role, the way they are playing. I think that's tremendous to see and sit and watch as a mentor.
Absolutely, there's a pool of talent over here in Mumbai. So any person that's caught your eye?
Yeah, definitely. Like I also work for IPL team, so this is always on our radar to see the young, upcoming talent. We are always looking for that. And as a Mumbai, there are plenty of talent. And to more than that talent, this gets the opportunity to see that they can go to the next level. Yeah, the most important wicket we got.
Yes, indeed, while I was here. What about Jay Bista's captaincy?
Well, obviously he's a young boy and he wanted to do well as a leader, and I think he has handled the team very well.
I need to just throw it to the commentators. We'll be back in a moment.
Yes, it's the fall of the wicket that we had to interrupt that. It was an excellent catch. And once again, Khanapurkar providing the breakthrough. Vaibhav Mali taking the catch there. That's a key wicket for the Shivaji Park Lions. Sachin Yadav goes for 26. It's 52 for 3. And we'll just go back downstairs.
We're still here. We were just enjoying that. So what is, like we were discussing, the talent in Mumbai?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we all know that talent, what we got in a longer version, the Ranji Trophy, we won 41 times. That's nobody can match that. But the shorter version, we wanted to see that Mumbai doing well. Last year, Mumbai also won the One Day Championship. That's very good. And for this T20 also, because that's also a very good part from MCA to provide this platform for this player. So many other franchises that these boys can go to the IPL also, because this is all about going to the next level, and this is where associations come forward to give them that platform.
And happy with the current match situation?
Well, I think, yes, so far we are at the par. Basically, this is not an easy wicket to bat. Our boys worked hard to get 150 runs. And I think maybe 10 runs short, but I think we have to bowl better to restrict them.
All right, well, I wish you all the best. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Back to you.
Thank you to Praveen Amre and to Karishma Kotak. Had to do a little two-part interview thanks to the wicket of Sachin Yadav. Moment Lions target now 99 of 69. Once again, you can see all-round contributions from Parag Khanapurkar. Couple of wickets yesterday. Nikhil Patil playing his second match. That's the reason why Nikhil Patil is out there. Very smart catch indeed it was. Very familiar reaction from Khanapurkar. Bespectacled Nikhil Patil. Again, it's a endangered species almost. We were just making a bespectacled World 11 the other day, weren't we?
Oh, yes, well bowled. Ball parry.
Bespectacled umpire as well. It's got one of those fancy pair of glasses, ones you can wear out in the sun, also read a book with it.
That's been hit really hard. Comes with a bit of a reputation, does Nikhil Patil. We'll see if he lives up to it. 9 gone, 54 for 3. .54 for 3 in 9. Steady progress, but it's any time you lose a wicket at a key moment, and there was a key moment in the previous over. Khanapurkar again providing the wicket. 2 overs, 1 for 8, very similar to his figures in the last game. What a useful cricketer to have in your ranks. Certainly front runner for being the Dream 11 game changer of the match. Saw that from Iqbal Abdullah yesterday. Came out as a pinch hitter. and smacked a few around and then went back to his day job and picked up some wickets. For Khanapurkar, it's the other way around. Gets the runs at the top of the order and then occasionally comes into bowl, snatches somebody else's spell and invariably takes wickets.
Something that I'd like Milind Rege to talk about in his next commentary stint. You see the number of left-arm spinners that are in action. We've joked a little bit about it, but a lot of batsmen are struggling against left-arm spinners. Now, if there are so many left-arm spinners on the circuit, why would batsmen not be good enough? Haven't they had so much of it already? It's just something that baffles me.
Getting Brindarati again into the limelight. There it is again. The inside edge that would have saved him. Ronak Sharma, the captain of the Shivaji Park Lions, just reminding you that the men in orange are without two of their key players, Captain Siddesh Lad and Shivam Dubey, both gone to India A duty, getting ready for red ball cricket. And what we were told was that had the Shivaji Park Lions been in contention to be in the semi-finals, Siddesh Lad and Shivam Dubey would have stayed on, but since they aren't, they've allowed them the freedom to have a little bit of extra practice for the change in format.
Oh, Afridi style from Hizar Dafedar.
Spot on. As the only person who comes to mind when these medium pace bouncers suddenly appear out of nowhere. Except Afridi would have been at, what, 20 kilo... Right when we're talking about Shahid Afridi, you're inquiring with the statistician about his age. Something wrong, not right there. 56 for 3 after 10.
Live scores, news,
Team preview,
match predictions.
fan code. Fan code.
Fan code.
No ads, pure sports.
.56 for 3 at the halfway stage. Lions chasing 151 for a win, so they're well behind the asking rate right now. They're currently at 5.6 and the required rate has raced up to 9.5 already. Now we know that run making is getting tougher and tougher on these pitches, and with the surf-eater spinners, the batsmen just have to take too much risk to try and get some reward. The strike rates are all suffering, as you can see. Even Ronak, 20 from 18, and Nikhil, of course, has just come in, but 2 from 6. And for the spinners, of course, a field day. Drumil, 1 for 14. Rohan Raje struck as one of the medium pacers. And we'll just remind you about how they all fell. Second ball of the innings. armor straight through the defense. Oh, the opener. That was a bit of a brain fade. You might say, why did he play that? Of course, had he pulled it off, it would have been looking pretty sweet. And then Yadav, just a rush of blood, couldn't clear the boundary. Smart catch. The 3 wickets that have fallen so far. However, the Lions will know that they may be on track because they're 56 for 3, and the Supersonics at the same stage were 59 for 2. So not much difference in terms of runs. And somebody will have to go big later. We'll see who. Milind Regia is here with me. Milind, of course, very much the pattern here. And if Ronak, despite the pressure as a skipper now in this match, can get a quick 50, the Lions may still be in it.
Yes, they can, because Ronak is a very key player in this team. There hasn't been a boundary for the last 26 balls, and that's a bit concerning. They will have to do something about it, because temperamentally they will have to change, because they are in a defensive mood with just the 1s and 2s. It doesn't help, Charu. They will just have to go for the big one, get out of that rut of defending. But you never know what can happen in the last 5 years or 5 overs.
Oh, tried to be cute, and there was a fair gap between the keeper and short third. So you can argue that the shot was on, but there was a little too full.
And too close to the body. Yeah, Parag Khanapurkar has been in excellent form in this tournament. Once again, too close to him for a yes, no is going to be dangerous.
Well, Ronak has to be careful here, because it was clearly Nikhil's call. And Nikhil's a big unit. He took a bit of a start, but I don't think he fancied a dive or a dash. So he said no straight away. And Ronak desperately looking for runs here. Seems disappointed, but let me assure you, Ronak, the right call. And it was not your call.
He's not doing anything with the ball, really. It's just going straight. But his accuracy is impeccable. His line is good. His length is nice. That's making the batsman... It's making it difficult for him to drive or cut. But Ronak is quite capable of unleashing a few shots.
Yeah, I see some desperation now. So watch it. Oh, well played. He kept his cool. So important after, what, 3 dot balls. And just 3 from that Parag over. 1 for 11 from 3 overs for him. 59 for 3.
ठीक है पण रनआउट काढू शकतो होय पण तयार राहा रनआउट साठी होय बाहेर आहे बाहेर ये बाहेर थोडा बाहेर.
Minor adjustments to the field behind square on the off. 2 fielders pretty close. Wide, short third and backward point. And they will come into play. But this one struck very well to the point. Runs coming in trickles. Ronak Sharma trying to just stay there till the end, which is important. But this man could make the difference. The other one, not on the screen now, but at strike. Nikhil Patil Senior, because he's a big boy. And for the moment, he's been quiet. 3 from 7. But there's a possibility he can hit it really big.
While we were viewing in the morning's play, all the left-handers bowling, it's nice to see 2 leg spinners operating from both the ends. And that's essentially because the wicket is playing slow, it's helping them. But I must admit, Charu, that Jay Bista has done a wonderful job.
He has, hasn't he? I mean, he's led the side really well. And by example as well. I'm not saying he scored all the runs, but he has opened and got 20s and 30s every time. But in the field, he has been terrific, leading by example, diving all over the place. Very strong fielder.
Well bowled,
Thanks it to long off.
Both the leggies are not experimenting at all. They're just bowling a nice line, not giving any room for a square cut, not turning the ball also. It turns if the pitch helps them. So basically the ball is coming straight onto your bat and they're bowling within the stumps.
Well, to his credit, Nikhil is not going berserk here. I wonder what's the role, though. Has he been sent in? Of course, he's got the skipper with him to just give Ronak most of the strike, or after a few sighters, go big, because time will very soon start running out. We mentioned 9 point something earlier. Very quickly, it's raced up to almost 11 and over the required rate. Ronak tries to go big, and he will. It was very close to him, so we'll have to say used a lot of strength in that shot. And of course, wonderful sense of timing as well.
Yeah, he just timed the ball beautifully, especially in that area between long on and mid-wicket. And Ronak is capable. He's had a very good local season for Parsi Gymkhana. So Ronak is the kind of player. He must now start dominating the innings, because once he gets that 6, let's look at the...
Well, we'll get back to that. 69 for 3. Very full. Did he get a finger to it? That will be disastrous. Ronak Sharma does not wait for the umpire's decision. Walks back. Well, the cruelest possible blow for any batsman anytime. Getting run out of the non-strikers because the bowler got a finger to it. We'll have to say Parag did extremely well for his team, getting rid of the opposite captain.
Look how far he is backed up. Really far. That's dangerous. Today, everybody goes so much down the wicket that there is no scope or hope for him to come back. Does it hit his hand? Yes.
Well, it must be just flicking past that little finger. We'll probably know from this angle, but Ronak must have seen it. Oh, do we get to see it from here? Yeah, just about. Just about. I don't think Parag would have appealed had he not touched it. And it was so close to Ronak's eyes, he may have glimpsed that as well. Which is why no protest, walked away straight away.
That is a great effort from Parag also, diving.
Yeah, well, one can understand why this is very difficult to spot on the cameras. From this angle, it doesn't look like he touched it at all, but maybe from the other angle, there could be a hint of the little finger or the middle finger. And I think Ronak was quite happy to go by his own instinct and perhaps his own sight there, thinking, yeah, there was a bit of a touch. What a shame, though. The captain for the Lions walks back after a fairly neat 30 from 27, just when he was looking very good. 69 for 4. So, Milan, what a cricketer we have. If Parag Khanaburkar doesn't do it with the bat, he can do it with the ball, or he can do it with his fielding. Brilliant.
Yeah, he's having a dream league. New batsman. Jadhav. Omkar Jadhav. Let's see what he has in store. He will have to really go after the bowling, because they have no pressure at all in this game. So might as well show your wares.
Yeah, the Bowler's got to allow you that, though. Tossed up. And the very first delivery, Jadhav misses out. Here it is again, struck very hard. Maybe just clipping one of the fingers of the right hand. And Ronak Sharma, on the basis of what he saw there, was happy to walk. Short and again into the ground rather than for a boundary. Well, this is not looking good, but Jadhav surely would know that Nikhil's a big hitter here, even though for the moment Nikhil is striking at only 55, 6 from 11. But you've got to push the ball around and get Nikhil on strike. I mean, it's a no-brainer. And yet 2 balls, both of which were good for either 4 or at least a single, were sent to Jay Bista at cover. That's what happens, plenty of pressure. And Parag has struck again. Jadhav danced down the track after playing 2 dots and then played all over it. Parag right on line. If you miss it, buddy, I'm hitting.
He got himself yorked with the middle stump, middle and leg stump. Very clever bowling from Parag.
Well, Jadhav didn't bother the scorers very much on this trip out. Omkar Jadhav now scores 70 for 5.
थोड़ा सामने चलेगा और ज्यादा जा और नेक्स्ट टाइम checking middle.
Parag Khanapurkar, 2 for 12, and he's bowling his final over. What a spell. What can he not do on the cricket field? Can he possibly pick up another wicket as he goes away? Khakkar comes in. Again, looped up by Parag. Oh, gives a wide away. Oh, he'll be disappointed. But he did invite the batsman to go big. And so now we have Nikhil at the crease. You probably want to see this last ball away.
Just tossed it up to him and bowled him, yorked him completely. See how far down the line he's gone. Was stumped. That's a brilliant stumping in that case because it was yorked. He was yorked.
Yeah, again, a full toss. So not such a wonderful finish, but of course, no damage done. Would you believe it? Parag Khanapurkar, one of the finest batsmen here, takes 2 for 15 in his 4, is 73 for 5. Will that find the gap? No. Deep mid-wicket will make sure it's only 1. And this is not good now for the Lions. Not only have they lost their top order, all 5 gone, but Nikhil is off strike. Khakkar is in there. Let's see whether he can show some adventure with his batting, because otherwise they're just going to roll their 20 overs the Sobo Supersonics, and the Lions are going to be nowhere near that 151 mark they need for a win. Surprise us, Khakkar. Pretty neat on drive.
And with the run rate climbing to 11.27, they have nothing to lose at this stage, isn't it? They can just go hammer and tongs.
Well, at least from one side. And I keep suggesting that Nikhil's the man. He's a big boy, fairly well muscled. And if he can hit a couple of sixes here, I think the bowlers will suddenly wake up and say, well, it's not going to be that easy. We better watch it. Goes for a big one, just as I suspected. Onto the side screen. That's what we like seeing. Use your bulk, hit it big.
Yeah, that's a terrific shot, really. In his area, gave it the necessary swing. And straight it goes into the side screen. It's a long six, really. Beautiful shot. Go now, go more for them now.
Dafidar's final over spoiled by that six. Oh, well bowled. You wonder why people take the decisions they do, because Nikhil could have gone big on this ball as well. I think two minds maybe. Listen, I've just hit a six, conventional wisdom. Maybe I should just tap it down for a single.
Yeah, but at this stage of the game, he has the liberty to do it. Once again, he tries for that big slog.
Yeah, much better over for the Lions. Just one ball left now, 9 runs off it. And there we are again. Down on one knee. Big swing, big boy, big six. What does Kakkar do here off the last ball? I suppose there are enough overs left for him to try and take a single. Yeah, done enough. But he'd better get a single off the next ball of the next over, or the first ball of the next over, and get Nikhil on strike. 14 gone, 83 for 5. Excuse me, Drumil, who struck in the opening over. So the back to lefty spinners. I think the leg break bowlers have done really well. But we're back to the Wardwiz VIP box. That's where you need to be. Gives you protection from the Mumbai heat. It's air conditioned. There's wonderful service. And Milind Regi, of course, was there earlier. But at least the VIP part, Milind, you got to agree. Well fielded. Maybe with your recommendation, I can go in there for a while and avail some of the service. The new Skoda. Bright, blue, shiny, fabulous car. Peace of mind, 6 years warranty, 4 years insurance. If I were you, I'd pick it up, just like Milind is making plans to. Sorry, you're it today.
Go for it, Nikhil. Once you're in the mood, don't defend. Get into it. Because once you start hitting the ball with the free flow, you'll realize that it's possible.
Yeah, you know, lefty spinners can get you into a real, what's the word here, trance, because they're on the same spot all the time. So you've got to do something adventurous to disturb their line and their length, particularly their length. Oh, well ball, but drifting down leg. Take it easy, Drumil. Nice swerve on that ball. Drift.
Yeah, he's got a beautiful action, Drumil Matka. He's basically so correct. Yeah, that would have gone down the leg side.
Only 4 runs off it, 2 balls left. Came in a bit, but Kakkar did very well to watch it carefully. And that last ball will now be faced by Nikhil, who may, because he's got a lefty spinner, want to go big this last ball. If it's there in the arc, then I have no doubt he will go for it.
Actually, he has no choice. He has to go for it now. Left arm spinner. Let's see what he does.
Well ball, Matu.
Well bowled in the block hole. Another tight over by a lefty spinner. He's got 1 for 19 from his 3. After 15, it's 88 for 5.
Up the side in the hut. And they need to score at 12.6 to stay.
Live scores, news,
Team preview,
match predictions.
fan code. Fan code.
Fan code.
No ads, pure sports.
Breaks on the Shivaji Park Lions. And they need to go big at the end. 63 of 30. And with shots like that, but that looks more vertical than having any distance. And it's been excellently attempted, but the net result was not what the Supersonics wanted. To be fair to him, he had to run a long way. He really couldn't settle under that catch and be still, which is what you need to be. Have a look at this.
I thought he overran a little bit there. Looked very confident as he was running in, but half a step too many. Vaibhav Mali's already taken a good catch.
Again up in the air, this time falls short. It's following him around. Must confess, I was almost unsighted because I thought he had got to the ball. I was like, what a good catch. This time it was the other way around, just didn't reach him. Batsman took his hand off the bat.
The Aksanderi have already made it through the first team to qualify. As we said at the start of the coverage, 3 spots left, 6 contenders. One of the spots will not be available, is what it looks like at this stage, because the Supersonics are on course to becoming the 2nd team, and they're also likely to finish number 1 because of a healthier net run rate than the Aksanderi, who are at 1 at this point.
Spot on. That's been hit hard. That's just going to elude the fielder and go all the way. It's exactly what Kakkar was trying earlier. This time he succeeds and it goes all the way. So maybe the Supersonics are not quite there yet. We might be talking about it in the commentary box, but a few more blows like that and first place in Group B will not be taken for granted. They're still in contention, the Supersonics, but the Namo Bandra Blasters will have something to think about, something to play for if the men in yellow finish 2nd best this afternoon.
Well, Group A wide open. We'll take a look at that points table in a while from now. 3 teams at 4 points each. The Thane Strikers out already, so we'll take a look at that. Now, if I were the Supersonics, assume I would finish 1, I would not want to play the North Mumbai Panthers. I believe they're a much better side in the Triumph Knights.
Not sure everyone looks at it that way necessarily. You just want to get there. You want to get there and finish as high as you possibly can. So it's wide open. 3 teams on 4. The Triumph Knights, the North Mumbai Panthers and the Akash Tigers. The Thane Strikers are out of contention. So, you know, it's a lot of mathematics there. They could finish on 4 points after their 5 games. But because... we'll come back to that. 16 overs, 98 for 5. We were looking at Group A. This is Group B. Remember, it's a unique format because apart from playing the 3 teams in your group, you play 2 other teams from the other group. So the Namo Bandra Blasters will still be playing a team from the opposition, the opposite group. But at the moment, Aksandari have a queue next to them. Sobo Supersonics will get the queue tonight. However, if they don't win, there's still plenty to play for because the Blasters will come back into reckoning. They'll be watching this game very carefully.
But if the Supersonics win, then it might be a case of, well, chance here. As he caught it, yes, very well. Well, his team's running towards him. Badre Alam, all smiles. Fast bowlers can feel well.
The umpires just asked the batsman to wait because it could be possible that that full toss was above waist high. So the 2 umpires have conversed. They've realized that they weren't absolutely sure. So to make certain, why not go upstairs and get some help? Milind Bhatt and Vrinda Rathi had a little chat, so no problem about the front foot. The real question was about or are they looking at the catch? I don't think the catch should be an issue. I think it was the height. Well, it has been confirmed. They are looking at the height.
Rathi was, the umpire Vrinda Rathi was quick to tell the batsman to hang in there. Oh, close. One of those in-between 50-50 calls. A lot now rests on the third umpire.
I reckon he's got his trousers pulled up. It's going to be a tough one.
Good one, Gautam. That is out.
Yeah, so you can change your style of how you wear your trousers, but that was adjudged to be just about waist high, and it was an excellently taken catch.
So reminiscent of Jadeja taking Alan Border's catch in the 1992 World Cup. Diving forward. Nikhil Patil gone for 19. The Lions now tottering at 98 for 6.
That's up in the air. Straight down the fielder's throat. Jay Bistar, a fielder, we told you in the last 4 overs, he tends to go and field in the hot spots where the ball carries.
Jay Bistar is like one of those Chinese fishing nets in Kerala. Don't miss anything. Safe as houses. Is that what they say?
Not sure everyone's house is quite safe, but nonetheless, if you are in a safe house, you're in a Jay Bistar house. Kakkar gone, 98 for 7. Looks like curtains for the Lions. Drumil Matkar on a hat-trick. Not going to pick that up. Not going to be the second bowler in this tournament after Ankush Jaiswal to pick up a hat-trick. We've had a few bowlers on a hat-trick, but Drumil Matkar
saw that very clearly, Gautam, right in front of our eyes. Jay Bistar, so calm, so relaxed. Very unfussy technique as well.
The Aussie style of catching with the fingers pointing up. Something Indian cricket has warmed up to. Of course, Mohammad Azharuddin has had his own way of taking those high catches with his hands cupped like a little lotus.
Well, I guess in this case it was the jersey being close to the Australian colour, so Jay Bista could live up to that. Hands cupped.
T20, yellow, nothing but CSK.
Your favourite team, or are you still hardcore the local team?
Can't think beyond Mumbai, can I?
Fair enough.
And we're just a few feet below the North Stand, which represents the magic of the Mumbai cricket lover.
We were talking about this, and I was almost having a look at Ronak Sharma there. We'll come back to that after this over. 102 for 7 after 17. Scored a maximum sixes. Ronak Sharma's climbed up into the top league along with Surya Kumar Yadav. Shivam Dube not playing today, otherwise he could have had a chance to get further. Talking about Shivam Dube, and we often talk about him. Last year we did, and the resemblance to Yuvraj Singh. I can tell you he's not the only member of the Orange Brigade who resembles an Indian player. Look at that. Don't you see a bit of Suresh Raina in there?
Well, Raina hasn't got the beard epidemic, so we wouldn't know. We'll have to try and perhaps superimpose.
Of course he does.
Virat Kohli beard on Suresh Raina. Someday, Photoshop will be part of cricket broadcasts. You can try a lot of these little tricks. A much different looking lineup for the Indian World Cup side this time.
Yep, just touched down today in London. Playing a warm-up game there, then heading off to Wales, then down to Southampton.
Yes, all of it will be live and exclusive right here on Star Sports in multiple languages. Starting in less than 2 weeks from now, their magnum opus.
It wasn't quite the prettiest shot in the world, but we've come down to the lower order, and it's just clutching at straws here, the Shivaji Park Lions. They would have wanted to go out on a high, knowing that they're playing for pride. Runners-up last year. Again, a bit of a heave-ho. I think the Supersonics now know that semi-final space is very much theirs.
Just unable to connect. Gohil and Bengre, the two. But Jay Bista has been one of the more impressive captains, has looked cool, has been very alert ahead of the game at times. 18 gone, 108 for 7.
That's an excellent shot. That'll be a boundary there for Gohil. It's too little, too late for the Shivaji Park Lions. If you see the conversation between the batsmen, they fancy themselves getting the 39 of 11.
Good to see them not just giving up something for these young Orange Army youngsters to celebrate.
Really been wonderful to see the crowds coming in here. Obviously, we've got to give them respite in the middle of the afternoon, but as the sun sets, that's hit high, looking like going straight down another fielder's throat. One too many from Gohil. Ronak Sharma, aka Suresh Raina, looks a little dejected now. 112 for 8, the end is nigh. And the locals in South Bombay hail the Supersonics, march to the semi-final at T20 Mumbai 2019. Gohil gone for 8, it's 112 for 8. Pace on the ball, and another wicket. Jai Bista in business. He doesn't even want to go up and celebrate. He says, yeah, I'm just doing my job at long off. I'll set the field and I'll go back.
A human embodiment of the Bermuda Triangle. Jai Bista. Once you go there, you don't come back. End of the story. The Supersonics are on the verge of a super finish here.
Wainwright out for 6. Just 1 wicket to go, 112 for 9. Deepak Shetty among the wickets, 2 for 14 in his second over. One of those rarities. Might go on about all the spinners, but let's not forget, out of the top 4 or 5, there are still 3 medium pace bowlers who are in the top wicket takers. In this case, Deepak Shetty, second bowler to be on a hat-trick in 2 overs. Didn't quite give himself enough of a chance. This is the stage of the innings you can actually think of getting a hat-trick, because the batsmen are looking to go after everything.
What a terrific catcher. For me, this has been a key feature of the Supersonics. Excellent fielding side. Looks like the most balanced side. Of course, we'll get an expert view from Milind Rege during the second game. It starts in about 40 minutes from now.
Yes, it's going to be a top table clash between the North Mumbai Panthers and the Triumph Knights representing Mumbai Northeast. They're both on 4 points in Group A. And I can tell you, neither of them are guaranteed a semi-final spot until tonight. So sometime before midnight tonight, we will know that third semi-finalist, and there'll still be one spot up for grabs.
The question is, will Prithvi Shaw play? Not too sure. The Panthers will have his services. Oh, wide. Longer over.
Are you sure about that?
Not sure. It's a tough one. No Prithvi Shaw. You meant Prithvi Shaw, right? Or the wide?
I was trying to make a bad pun. But of course, if it doesn't come from you, it doesn't count.
Well, there's a time when I used to live in South Mumbai. Now much closer to... Well, Shivaji Park much closer to where I live, so I'm a bit confused, a bit sad that Shivaji Park haven't done well. 19 gone, 114 for 9.
Looks like Badr Alam to finish up. Just the 1 wicket to take. 37 runs to get. That's only academic.
Coming right over.
But just for the record, 36 for a super over. Just for the record.
Right here at this venue, certain Mr. Shastri versus a certain Mr. Tilak Raj it was, but it's not happening today. It's over.
Yes, Tilak Raj from Baroda. Then Baroda, now Vadodara. Yeah, you almost start getting a club of bowlers who have been hit for 6 sixes in various formats. The game started with Malcolm Nash in the 60s in Swansea. Tilak Raj here at the Wankhede. Danvan Bunga, South Africa against Herschel Gibbs.
And Stuart Broad in Durban. I wonder if they have their own WhatsApp group. Not the ones who hit sixes, but the ones who were at the receiving end. Oh, a bit of movement, reverse. Did I see reverse there?
Not that it's, Badr Alam has been known to reverse the ball. Yeah, there was someone in the Afghan Premier League. I'm not sure who the bowler was.
Well, he'll be happy you don't remember his name.
Well, as that wicket falls, I was just remembering the name of the Afghan batsman who hit those 6 sixes, Hazratullah Zazai. But we're not going to get those big runs there because forget 6 sixes, they fall 35 runs short. Essentially 6 sixes short of the total posted by the Sobo Supersonics. So that's goodbye to the Shivaji Park Lions in their penultimate outing. And for the Sobo Supersonics, it's not just 2 points, but a super victory means they're going to go to the top of the tree in Group B over the Arcs Andheri. So they'll both qualify for the semi-finals, but it'll matter which team they play from Group A. Will it be the Triumph Knights, the Panthers, the Tigers, or even an outside chance for the Eagle Thane Strikers to come from nowhere?
Well, Aditya Thare will be very happy to hear that, but what a professional display by the Sobo Supersonics, the boys from South Mumbai. And the Shivaji Park Lions continue to look hapless. Not a very impressive looking batting card there. Ronak Sharma captaining the side, the top scorer with 30, run out by Parag Khanapurkar. The spinners had a party today in the middle overs. A couple of wickets for Shetty in the end. They were looking for 151, skittled out for 115, losing this game by 35 runs.
All they needed to do was reverse the last 2 digits. But cricket's not that simple. 115 all out, and the partnerships you could see, if the highest partnership, even in a 20-over game, is 31, and that too of 33 balls, you know you've sort of lost your way at that stage of the innings. And it was always going to be downhill. Good use of his bowlers by Jay Bista. That's what he's done so well. Badre Alam finishing off with that last wicket. 2 bowlers were on a hat-trick. And that just, I think, tells the story. Wickets fell in clumps. It's more of a highlights package if you're from the yellow team, because it was wickets again that kept falling every time they looked as if they could get going, the Shivaji Park Lions, and they were missing Siddesh Lad and Shivam Dubey, and it showed. Few big hits you could see there. This was a key decision made by Vrindarati. Batsman felt he was hard done by, but we saw it went off the bat. And some of these blows did carry to the boundary. This was the stage we thought that they were coming back into it. Some really big sixes. Then came some very smart catches taken by the outfielders of the Sobo Supersonics.
Yes, a total of 151, a target of 151. They would have fancied themselves, but this run out just giving you a sense of how it was a completely off day for a team that played without their stars. Yogesh Khanapurkar among the wickets as well. Has done the job with the bat in the past, doing the job with the ball this time. A couple of wickets for Shetty as well, of back-to-back deliveries towards the end. Missed out on a hat-trick. A rare oops moment in the field by the boys from South Mumbai, the Supersonics. There were a few big hits, but not as many as they would have liked to. As we've said, one of the key features of the success of the side has been the catching. And the number 1 on that list, of course, the captain, Jay Bista, never drops any. And the lower middle order, they couldn't have done much. They just backed themselves to go for the big ones. Hardly anything came off, and they looked resigned to their fate. And in powerful flat shots like that went straight to Jay Bista, who looked nice and cool, and that's how it all ended. The last wicket, leg before wicket. Varun, leg before wicket by Badre. That's how it all ended for the Shivaji Park Lions. 4 consecutive losses. The Supersonics win by 35 runs. They are up to 8 points. It's time now to go downstairs to Charu Sharma for the presentation.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Wankhede Stadium. Thank you for being here. Always a pleasure to have your company. And of course, everybody watching on television, thank you for joining us for T20 Mumbai. Well, the Sobo Supersonics, stung by that one-loss game, roaring back. And unfortunately, not the Lions. They were roarless as far as this tournament goes. But still, we enjoyed the Supersonics' comeback. Let's just quickly thank our sponsors on behalf of the MCA. Dream 11, Skoda, Atul Projects, Wardwiz, Seagate and Bisleri. And now a quick introduction to the presentation party for this first match on day 9. From the MCA, the CEO, Mr. C.S. Nayak. And then to his left, very familiar voice of North Face, RJ Salel from Radio City, a sponsor representative. Good to see you here. To his left, we've got from the Sobo Supersonics, Mr. Deepak Chauhan. And finally, the last two on the left from Shivaji Park Lions, Anil Kothari and Dhruv, the youngster. Anil, never mind. Thank you for joining us. Happens every once in a while. So let's see that smile again. All right. Let's have a quick chat with the captain that won again today, Jay Bista. Do put your hands together for the winning captain, JB. 1 loss and you're roaring back.
Yeah, yesterday we couldn't...
Forget about yesterday. A good game today. Well played.
Yeah, we played really well. Again, great stuff by the bowlers. We bowled really well, defending 150. It was difficult to bat on initially, but yeah, I think so we could improve in middle overs. And next game we should come hard and look into that aspect.
All of us agree that you've been skippering the side fabulously. And of course, your fielding is exemplary. But it's just we were all a little greedy to get more runs from you.
Yeah, I'm also greedy. But sometimes it happens. The team is doing well. I'm sure I'm going to come back stronger into the next game.
Keep fit, keep loose. Good luck for the semis.
Thank you so much.
Jay Bista, skipper of Sobo Supersonics. And that, of course, brings us to our man of the match. Now, the end of the Supersonics' innings, and remember, they batted first. In just 4 deliveries, he got 15 runs and accelerated them to that 150 mark, which made it tough for the chasing side. And then he comes back and takes 3 for 23. Dhrumil Matkar is our man of the match. Dhrumil, do please accept your trophy from Deepak Chauhan. And the check for 50,000 jointly from Salil and Mr. C.S. Naik. You might want to be in the middle, but whatever is fine. Congratulations, fine performance. And Dromel, if you'll join us, please, for a quick chat. Well played indeed. We'll talk about your bowling later, but that final 15 must have, in the dugout, meant a lot to you.
Yes, of course, because there was a little bit confusion that who would go in, but I took that responsibility and I went in.
So listen, I mean, courtesy those 15 runs, what are you, an all-rounder, or would you still consider yourself a lefty orthodox?
No, I'm a proper all-rounder.
All right, we'll take that. But your wickets, which one did you really enjoy today? Of course, the first one, but apart from that?
I think Nikhil Patel's wicket was very important. That was a crucial stage, and I think that made the difference.
And of course, there's no doubt that on this pitch, the spinners are really enjoying themselves, lining up and saying, give me the ball.
Yeah, of course, the wicket is little on a slower side and it's turning. So, of course, the spinners are having a good time over there.
And of course, your team's doing fabulously thanks to players like you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Dromel Matkar, our man of the match. And just enough time to thank the presentation party. And of course, thank all of you for joining us for the presentation. Of course, we have another big match coming up this evening. So I hope you will remain tuned in.
Yes, well deserved that award for Dromel Matkar. And he said he is an all-rounder. So you're not going to take that away from him. So this is where we stand now. Thanks to this victory, Manish mentioned earlier, the Sobo Supersonics not only getting to 8 points, but leapfrogging Sandheri thanks to their net run rate. They finished their engagements. They now know they're 1 and 2. They just have to wait for what's happening in Group A to try and figure out who their opponents will be in the semi-final. The other contest, of course, the individual contest, the Dream 11 game changer of the match. And it had to be that man, Dromel Matkar. Key runs towards the end for the Supersonics. As he said, he walked out to bat ahead of somebody else who was supposed to. And then, even though he was helped by his outfielders, I think he bowled beautifully and made sure this was his third wicket. Dream 11 game changer of the match. All-rounder Dromel Matkar. And obviously Dromel Matkar there. Khanapurkar also, remember, picked up wickets. So it was a good tussle between the two of them for who's going to take best honours in terms of Dream 11 points. 43.5, 42.5. Yogesh Takavale in third at 35. So if you picked the first two in your team, captain, vice-captain, you're going to be top of the tree. We're going to have a toss coming up very shortly. This is the match. It's a top table clash. It's the Mumbai Northeast Triumph Knights against the North Mumbai Panthers. Everything to play for. The semi-final at stake at Mumbai T20.